their way to Norfolk today for the MEAC opener. Keith Pugh leads a Howard defense that has to find a way to stop the #1 HBCU team in the country. Norfolk State's defense helped the Spartans to their first MEAC championship in 2011. Their defense of that title begins right now. Welcome to ESPNU College Football Primetime, presented by McDonald's. From Dick Price Stadium in Norfolk, Virginia, it's the conference opener for these MEAC foes. It's the Howard Bison take on the Spartans of Norfolk State. Welcome into the broadcast booth alongside former NFL quarterback Jay Walker, Joe Davis on hand. Norfolk State 9-3 a season ago to win their first ever MEAC title. They're the preseason pick to win it again, and if you ask Pete Adrian, their head coach, he'll tell you they're maybe just as good this year.
They're having a phenomenal run. They're playing some of the best football in the program's history, and Coach Pete Adrian wants everybody to be on notice. They were not just a one-year wonder last year. Impressive non-conference victory last week versus Liberty. Now they open up their defense of their 2011 MEAC championship.
Well, Norfolk State, a running team, but they're not without weapons on the outside. Legitimate NFL prospect in Xavier Boyce.
And when they throw the football, isn't it such a treat to have a target like Xavier Boyce? 6'5", runs a 40-yard dash in 4.5 seconds. He's got NFL potential. He's a big play threat, and when he catches a football, good things normally happen for Norfolk State.
Speaking of NFL prospects, other side of the field, Keith Pugh, the preseason MEAC Defensive Player of the Year for Howard.
Yeah, Keith Pugh is the highest-rated linebacker in all FCS football. He's got an NFL future ahead of him. He's all over the football field. Phenomenal playmaker, very disruptive. Look for him to be around the football actively and often if the Bison have any chance of coming in here getting the victory.
And Jay, your former favorite target, Gary Harrell, in his second season as head coach at Howard. 1994 Howard grad, 6-7 so far at the helm of this program. Everett Goldberg ready to kick it away. And waiting deep is Rodney Tyson, who will be making his Howard debut today. Conference opener for these teams. Resurgent Howard program trying to knock off the defending MEAC champion Norfolk State. And on a perfect day for football. Goldberg is senior out of Mesa Ridge, Colorado. And off we go from Norfolk. Good kick will start the game at the 25.
That's something to take note of. You notice the kickoff there almost went through the uprights. Strong breeze going from right to left here in the stadium. Howard's on offense now. Throwing the football in this direction is going to be a challenge for that offense.
Randy Liggins Jr., a junior out of Brea, California. He's only thrown it 14 times so far this year, splitting time with Jamie Cunningham, who's not available today. And Liggins 8 for 14 for 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions to begin. And his running back, Terrence LaFall, with his first game of the season. Hoping that he can give this running game a boost. And his first touch of the year and gets it close to the 30. Let's take a look at our impact players. First off on offense for Howard, the tight end, David Wilson.
The junior college transfer has been a really good find for offensive coordinator Ted White. He can really control the middle of the field.
Short gain on first down. On 2nd and 7. They throw the wide receiver's screen. And nowhere to go for Jonathan Booker, but he steps out of a tackle and manages to turn nothing into a short gain of 2 to set up 3rd down and 5.
Versus a team that's very aggressive, you see misdirection. You try and fake the screen to the right, come back left, but look at all the Greek jerseys in the area. He's just surrounded. That's swarming to the football, nowhere to go.
It's a Norfolk State defense, despite having to replace 7 starters, ranked in the top 10 in the country for a 4th consecutive year. We've got our first flag of the day.
Offside. 51. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Yards gained from the penalty. First down.
So that makes it a first down as the sophomore George Riddick was offsides. Only one team in the FCS level is penalized more than Norfolk State.
One team.
One team, Tennessee State.
Yeah, when it's only one, you got to wonder who it is. Rod Reed and the boys at Tennessee State more penalized than Norfolk State.
LaFall with a big hole on first down across the 40 for a solid game. And let's look at Jamal Giddens, the fifth-year senior.
Yeah, the outside linebackers, the most experienced linebacker they have on this team there. And Coach really likes him. He thinks he's got that next level type of ability to play in the NFL. He gets the schemes when you talk to Coach Pete Adrian about Giddens.
2nd and 3. Zone read play. They flip it off to Aquinas Freeman. And he's got a first down to the 47 and a gain of 4. Tackled by Marcel Koch.
Misdirection. You're going to see plenty of that. Good job pulling the ball out of the stomach, making the pitch, picking up the first down. It's a different offense you're seeing from Howard University without Greg McGee in the lineup. Howard is a wide-open spread offense, likes to throw the football. When Liggins is in the game, they base it more on the run game.
LaFall again on first down over the left side of the line behind Morris and Hawkins, couple of seniors. Eric Hitch and George Riddick make the stop after a gain of 5. Now, Terrence LaFall, Jay, a senior out of Stone Mountain, Georgia, who missed the first 2 games of the season. And this Howard team just now getting close to full strength with those season-opening suspensions of 13 players stemming from a misuse of textbook allowance.
Got a free play here.
And a shot over the middle is broken up and incomplete. It'll be 3rd down, but a flag before the play will make it a free play.
Offside. 51. Defense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Second time on George Riddick.
Yeah, they got him jumping. And we talked about Norfolk State being the 2nd most penalized team FCS, Tennessee State #1. Both those teams are undefeated,
yeah,
believe it or not, and they both have quality wins. But if they expect to compete in the postseason, they've got to get those penalties eliminated.
On 2nd down and short, Liggins Jr. will keep it himself for a first down run. All the way down to the 31 and a pickup of 13. And we're talking about the suspensions to begin this season that has made it tough on Howard really to get much chemistry going. 13 players starting the season suspended. School-based suspensions approved by the NCAA based on textbook and misuse of the textbook allowance. From the 31, they like to roll Liggins out. A wide open man, Brandon Flanagan with a touchdown. 2nd of the season for the junior from Corona, California. And Howard with a methodical first drive to strike first.
Very impressive. Good play selection. They kept the Spartans off balance and then were able to sneak the wide receiver behind him for the secondary. Good job. The safety's just looking in the backfield at the running back. I don't know if the wide receiver can get more open than he was on that touchdown grab.
And how about this Howard offense against one of the top defenses in the country perennially, marching down the field and scoring in less than 3 minutes. Parker Munoz, the junior out of San Diego, adds on the extra point. Brandon Flanagan, the most experienced wide receiver in this young group. Usually at his best working underneath, but he goes over the top for a touchdown. And the Bison strikes first. ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And in part by Nissan, premier partner with a Heisman Trophy. Back here in Norfolk, Virginia, 2nd largest city in Virginia behind Virginia Beach. 7-0. Howard in front, striking on that first possession of the game. And John Fleck, a freshman from Indianapolis, will boot it away to Keith Johnson and Derek Demp. Special teams have been very good, especially in the return game for the Spartans so far. This is the redshirt junior Demps. Upended at the 25 by Jaron Brown. Let's look at that touchdown.
Yeah, the Bison come up. They know it's man-to-man coverage, and you've got your safeties right here. They're so confused on who they're going to guard, so you're actually going to see Flanagan get a free release. Once they go in motion, you know it's man-to-man coverage. Nobody accounts for the slot receiver. That's why you see offensive coordinators send guys in motion. They can tell with the coverage whether or not you're getting man-to-man, and also they tend to disrupt the defensive calls.
This is Nico Flores, a redshirt junior from Miami, who last week was 9 for 14 for 62 yards, but ran for a career-high 78 yards, and they really like how he's controlling this offense. To throw on the first offensive play for Norfolk, and he sails it over Xavier Boyce, the NFL prospect, who stands at 6'4", 6'5", and it's 2nd and 10. Let's look at our impact player on offense, Brendan Riddick, a redshirt freshman.
Riddick is a guy that played quarterback in high school, really came out last week with his coming out party. 21 carries, 153 yards. Phenomenal find they found in this redshirt freshman who was a high school quarterback. You'll also see him playing some Wildcat for the Spartans today.
It's Riddick's first carry of the day. This is a very good defense from Howard. Keyed by the middle linebacker, obviously, in addition to Keith Pugh, to Brian Resby.
Yeah, the Resby's the guy that he plays on instinct. He's one of those guys, if you find the football, he's going to go with his gut reaction, and normally he's right with his reaction. Really stepped up in the absence of Keith Pugh when he was suspended for the first game. This is the Howard defense coached by Ray Petty that's very stingy with giving up points.
They've got 11 upperclassmen starting on this defense, 6 seniors and 5 juniors. And they've made it 3rd down and 9 on this opening possession for Norfolk State. One spot defensively that Howard has struggled has been on 3rd down. 105th in the country. Flores steps out of the pressure and will throw it incomplete. Rodney Hill was chasing him down. And a good start to this game for Howard.
The pressure getting to him, the defensive line. Rodney Hill, number 91, gets off his block, and look at the motor. Keep coming from the inside, from the defensive tackle position, forcing Flores to throw the ball a little bit sooner than he liked.
Ray Petty, the defensive coordinator for Howard, has to be pleased with their start. Dylan Shattuck's on to punt for the first time. And it's a short one. They'll go out near midfield. So just a 22-yard punt. And back on offense comes Howard behind Randy Liggins Jr. You take a look at head coach Pete Adrian. And Greg McGee again to finish off that thought. Part of these 13 players that have been suspended for misuse of textbook allowance, suspended 3 games. And you can only imagine what it's been like trying to get that chemistry, especially on the offensive side of the ball with so many guys out.
And McGee is such a phenomenal talent. As a freshman, took the MEAC by storm. First team all-conference prediction for this season coming up as a sophomore. Bright future. He's a special talent, but give credit to the Bison. They've managed to rally, get the victory versus Morehouse first game of the year, then going to Rutgers, and the defense played very well. And they're just trying to see when they get him back, they'll be clicking on all cylinders. But right now, you can't tell. This offense looked good, opening drive, and the defense is playing very well.
Out of the Wildcat this time, Rodney Tyson, who's a redshirt freshman, tackled by Eric Hitch after a gain of 2, and it'll be 3rd down and about 3 coming up.
You've got a defense that has 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers as active as Norfolk State. You can't go in there with a traditional game plan and thinking we're just going to pound the football. They make those adjustments, so you can tell Howard is really trying to confuse Norfolk State, giving them so many different looks early in the contest.
Yeah, quickly they bring Liggins Jr. back into the game. And they might have just gotten the 3rd free play of this first quarter. A shot down the sideline is broken up, but it's likely going to be a 1st down anyways. Marcus Center with the coverage. Credit to Liggins for understanding what he had there.
3rd time the Liggins.
Offside, number 90 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, and because of the yardage gained from the penalty, 1st down.
3rd time that Liggins has been able to draw the Spartans offsides, going with the hard count as a defensive coordinator and head coach Pete Adrian serves as a D coordinator for Norfolk State. He's got to be driving them fits. Get the right coverage called. Defensive linemen jumping off sides, giving them free first downs.
112 penalty yards a game for this Norfolk State team. Only Tennessee State at the FCS level penalized more often. Justin Duncan is checked into the game as a fullback. And off play action, Liggins rolling and throwing. It is Duncan with a reception. Senior out of Andrews, South Carolina, with a short first down gain. And second down coming up.
More misdirection. You sell the run, pull it out, try and just get somebody to outflank the defenders. That's pretty good defense there, sideline to sideline by Norfolk State.
The passing game without McGee has been a weakness, like you might expect. They got young wide receivers. 3 of the top 4 wide receivers are freshmen. Coming into this game, the passing offense 87th in the country. They fake the draw. Liggins with pressure behind him throws into a tight window looking for Matt Colvin. And it's incomplete, third down. First incompletion of the game thrown by Liggins. The coaches rave about how smart he is. He's really put in the time to understand the offense, meets with the quarterback coach, the offensive coordinator every day, and is really good at getting this group into good spots pre-play. Pressure off of the edge, and yet another free play. Liggins trying to take advantage. Incomplete. Looking for Earl Norfleet.
Offside, number 23 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
And this is Marcel Cope, linebacker there. Obviously, they were going to bring pressure from the outside. He couldn't hold his water. You go from defensive linemen jumping off sides. Now you've got your linebackers jumping off sides. Fortunately for Norfolk State, this time it wasn't enough to give Howard the first down, so they still have a third down situation coming up.
Third down and 2. Duncan the fullback, LaFall the tailback. Norfolk State loads the box. Hard count again. And a bootleg for Liggins. Will try to get the corner, but unable to. Keenan Lambert forced him out of bounds to set up fourth down.
You talked about Norfolk loading the box. Very aggressive play call, but they've got 2 defenders there, and good job by the safety, Keenan Lambert, not giving up outside contain and actually forcing Liggins to take a loss on the play. That's one there where you wish if you don't have it, just throw it away. At least you've got 4th and 2. Now they've got 4th and 6 because he lost 4 yards.
And they will go for it. 1 for 1 this season on fourth down.
Norfolk State got to be thinking, watch the hard count. Don't jump off sides.
Bunch receivers to the wide side of the field. Matt Colvin spins out of Cooperwood's tackle for a first down into the red zone. A true freshman out of Jacksonville, North Carolina, who's still learning and playing a little bit slower because of it, with a great athletic play there.
Get the ball to him in space, get it out of your hands quickly, and this is just a great individual effort by Colvin. Missed tackle by Cooperwood, spin move, get vertically up the field, pick up the first down for the Bison.
That puts Howard into the red zone. Let's take a look at how they're doing in the red zone this season. Brought to you by Verizon. First down carry for Terrence LaFall. And this Howard offense gashing a very good Norfolk State defense early on.
They're keeping them guessing right now. Then when they've got to make a play, they are. But Norfolk State's been their own worst enemy. 3 offsides penalties have really helped the Bison in this drive in the first half.
Tight one-on-one coverage to the near side with Colvin. A sprint draw. Here comes Aquanius Freeman. Got a block from Coleman and a touchdown. Second of the season for Aquanius Freeman. The sophomore from New Orleans makes it a 2-score lead for the Bison.
Got to wonder if they got the scout report. They ran this play for a lot of success versus Rutgers last week. Everybody goes hard to the left. Running back comes back to the right. That sprint draw, misdirection. And I know that's got to be disappointing because I can promise you Coach Pete Adrian must have scripted that play at least 10 times during the week, knowing that it was coming. But when the game time came, the defense could not react.
Parker Munoz on for the extra point out of the hold of John Fleck. And missed it wide right. But midway through this first quarter, Howard with a 2-score lead under second-year head coach Gary Harrell. Back among the MEAC elite and off to a good start here in Norfolk.
Looks like there's an opening.
2 drives, 2 scores for Howard, 13-0 midway through this first quarter, capped off most recently by an Aquanius Freeman touchdown run.
When you're looking at the sprint draw, you got to look for a key. And the key is everybody's going to block like they're going this way. Watch the set here. But the key is the 2 interior linemen. That's Terrell Hawkins and Bradley Johnson. They're the only ones that are going to get a push this way. If you don't see that key there, you're thinking everything's going left with the sprint draw. Meanwhile, they're sneaking the center and the guard up to the second level, getting on the linebackers, allowing the running back Freeman to go into the end zone untouched. Brad Johnson, that is Jimmy Johnson's son. Jimmy Johnson played at Howard University, was a tight end, played in the NFL, is currently the tight ends coach for the Minnesota Vikings, so they're keeping it in the family.
And you see a lot of that here. A lot of guys on Norfolk State as well that have had parents go to the school. Marcus Cooper would watch that one bounce to the end zone, and the drive will begin at the 25. You found your way to Howard from across the continent.
America's Black College, like I like to call it. Howard's very diverse. You've got the history of the people that go there. And right now, Norfolk State, they need to bring some offense from wherever they can find it. 1 yard offensively. And the defense has been letting them down. Howard's been able to go up and down the field. Good chance right now for Nico Flores to try and show what he can do and get his team back in this football game.
You saw the total yards so far. 15 plays for 125 for Howard. 1 yard on just 3 plays for Norfolk State. Biggest strength for this offense is the ability to run the ball. Very deep at running back. And play action on first down for Nico Flores. He'll check it down into the flats for a short gain to Conley Smith. Norfolk State last week, 340 yards against Liberty. 250 of them came on the ground.
You know, when you got a defensive coordinator that's your head coach and Pete Adrian, they normally go stick with conservative play calling. They want to control the clock, have patience, but they're down 13-0 early. They're being a little bit more aggressive, throwing the football more than they typically like to do.
Jet sweep for Keith Johnson is faked, and the ball on the ground from Flores. Able to get back on top of it, but it's 3rd down and 9.
Great recognition by Tovin Sheets, number 90, the defensive end. They're trying to option off of him. He manages to get the ball carrier and the quarterback, poke it out of there. Almost came up with the fumble.
Norfolk State 0 for 1 on 3rd down so far. Flores looking towards the wide side of the field, and a strike to Xavier Boyce, who fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by Howard's Josh Jordan. What a start to this game for the Bison.
Xavier Boyce had the completion for a first down, but so often we see young kids trying to get that extra yardage, end up getting fumbled. Good job, good pocket, good protection. Flores recognizes and throws a strike. They're trying to fight for that extra yard, and the secondary for Howard being very aggressive. Put a helmet on the football to force the fumble. One guy hold him up, the other guy comes to clean it up. That's Julian David, number 24. Good job knocking that ball away, and Howard has the ball in great field position again.
David contributed to an early takeaway last week against Rutgers, had an interception on the first drive. Here's LaFall spinning through the line of scrimmage. And a solid first down gain to the 37. Lyndon Trail was in on the stop, the Florida transfer who Norfolk State's very high on.
Trail's one of those guys, almost a freak of nature, 6 feet 7 inches tall, 250 pounds, and can run. He's got a tremendous upside.
They faked the hitch on 2nd and 4 and lofted it for Colvin, who is defended by Nick Taylor. And it's 3rd down.
Taking a deep shot, but you got to know there, when you try and do the double move, if the cornerback doesn't bait, then you've either got to underthrow the ball or throw it out of bounds. Very fortunate that Nick Taylor did not run underneath that ball and get an interception.
Before Norfolk State can get set up defensively, Howard ready to snap the ball. All kinds of confusion and a timeout for Norfolk State.
We talked about Lyndon Trail. I've never seen an outside linebacker 6 feet 7 inches. I mean, that's, you know, defensive line. You don't put him in a 3-point stance, but he's got good speed. And he came out of high school. He's one of the top 50 recruits in the country. And then with the coaching change at Florida, decided to come up north to Norfolk. Was committed to playing on the FCS level because he wanted to play. Didn't want to sit out a year. And this is secondary. The linebacker core for Norfolk State, they've got 3 Division I transfers or FBS transfers, but they're all backups right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of impressive, giving credit to the guys like Jamal Giddens and Cope and those folks that are able to have these transfers come in, but not just take over the starting roles. They're seeing playing time, but they're not the starters yet.
They're behind 3 fifth-year seniors. Well, College Football Daily is your destination for all the latest reports and comprehensive analysis. Our college football experts dissect all the storylines and breaking news each day. College Football Daily, weekdays at 1 on ESPNU.
The story of the college football season thus far has been Louisiana Monroe.
Taking Auburn down to the wire today into overtime. On 3rd and 4, they go to LaFall, who keeps the feet churning and has what looks like to be enough for the 1st down. They're hoping that LaFall returning could give them a big boost, and so far sure hasn't hurt. Terrence Pugh made the stop after he got the 1st down.
This has been very impressive offensive line play for Howard University. That used to be a weakness on the squad 2 seasons ago. Now they've matured. They're starting to control the line of scrimmage.
No flag this time. There's already been 4 offsides penalties. Rodney Tyson couldn't hold on with defense coming from Lambert and Merrill, and it's 2nd and 10.
That's a case there where Liggins tried to squeeze that ball in that window. And that seam, that's a very difficult throw. 30 yards down the field on a rope and going into the wind. Got to come down, take a check down in that situation there. Anytime your offensive coordinator calls a pass on 1st down, they're just looking for any type of positive yardage. Last thing you want to do is have an incompletion.
Back to the ground on 2nd down for LaFall. Sticks the head down, burrows for a couple of yards. Mike Privet, Louisville transfer, was there for the stop. And they hurry up to the line of scrimmage. Once again, Norfolk caught off guard. This has been an impressive job of coaching by this Howard staff early on. The Bison 1 for 3 on 3rd down so far. And a timeout taken by Howard. Their first one of the half. And Norfolk State trailed at halftime last week, came back to beat Liberty. They'll have to come from behind again today. 3rd and 7 on the other side of the spray. Norfolk State trying to generate some energy. Flat start here at Dick Price Stadium. 13-0. They trail Howard, who's set up with a 3rd down and 7 right here.
We're bringing the blitz. He's got to get rid of it.
He can't. And he's dropped by Terrence Pugh. 5th-year senior was there to make the stop and set up 4th down.
Now this is interesting. Liggins' helmet came off on that one. Now he's got to go out for a play. Howard only has one other quarterback dressed, which is Greg McGee. But what do you do in that situation?
Luckily, it's 4th down. And he's got a smile on his face knowing the same thing you do. Now, the only way that he could play before a 3-game suspension is up is if he was the emergency quarterback, which he is today because Jamie Cunningham is unavailable.
Cunningham, the freshman, was injured versus Rutgers last week. Did not practice all week.
This is a 30-second timeout.
John Flacco's lined up for a 44-yarder here. And timeout taken by Norfolk State. What a start for Howard, who went 15 plays early on to punch it in for a touchdown, and then they taken advantage of some good field position too.
Kept him off balance there, and Randy Liggins made a great throw to Flanagan over the top. Norfolk State with the blown coverage. And then the sprint draw here by Queenie Freeman, able to get in there and give the Bison the lead. They missed the extra point, which is why they've got 13 points. Now they're lining up for a field goal, which will give them a 16-0 advantage if they can convert. Now, if you're Norfolk State, I don't know why you call that timeout. And I don't think Howard can make a field goal. They missed an extra point. It wasn't even close. You've got the wind blowing hard in that direction. I think now you may think about possibly going for it if you're Howard University.
Only issue is you got to then bring in McGee, which it looks like they will. So on 4th down and 6, the reigning Rookie of the Year and the preseason MEAC Offensive Player of the Year makes his 2012 debut. Pressure shown from Norfolk State. McGee calm in the pocket. Flag flies as he steps into the throw that's broken up by Darren Merrill. Looking for Justin Boyd. Talk about being calm in the pocket for your first snap of the season.
You have holding on number 75, offense. This penalty is declined. First down.
Now, the reason he had to come in, if a helmet comes off through play, player must sit out the next play, except from a foul, the face mask ripping it off. Ball carrier's helmet comes off, ball is dead, clock stops. Under 1.5 minutes, the opponent may choose a 10-second runoff, but you had to have Liggins Jr. come out, and your backup quarterback is McGee.
Yeah, and now you wonder because McGee played a play. So by him playing for a play, it's going to count as him playing in a game, so the suspension may go to the next game. And you also wonder, does McGee get to play the rest of this game? This is interesting dynamic how this is all shaping up. I don't know what do you do in this situation.
Jake Basmajian is into the game. The sophomore from California has not thrown an incompletion yet this year. 7 for 7 for 45 yards. And in for Nico Flores, who controlled the offense on the first 2 possessions. Had nothing going. And nothing going on this second down run.
Norfolk State offensively, quarterback carousel they've got. They had 5 people compete for the quarterback position this year. Flores won by having the most experience, but they're missing Chris Wiley, who last year was the offensive player of the year in the MEAC conference. And with all that experience, they haven't been able to settle on just one quarterback yet.
Basmajian, the JUCO transfer, is into the game with Nico Flores watching from the sideline. 3rd and 8, and Howard loading up that line of scrimmage. Pressure comes, and he goes down. Keith Pugh off of the edge. The preseason MEAC Defensive Player of the Year now has 62 career tackles for loss, 3 short of the all-time FCS record.
And Pugh's going to be coming from the left side of your screen. Once he comes here, you've got to know where he is, and you don't leave the best defensive player in the country unblocked. Once he gets your hands on you, it's a wrap.
Dylan Shaddix to punt it away to Brandon Flanagan. They'll let it bounce, and it's down at the 42 by Brent Singleton. 39-yard punt for Shaddix. And Howard back on offense here with 2:41 left to go in the first quarter. Now, the question is, like you talked about, since you've already burned McGee, this isn't a suspension game for him. You might as well play him, right?
You might as well play him out. I mean, how ironic is your defense makes a tackle. Helmet. Who would have thought Greg McGee would make an appearance in this game because of the helmet rule? I've seen some interesting things in college football. This is a very unique situation. I guess you could say it's a break for the Bison, but Randy Liggins had put 13 points on the board.
And David Wilson, the tight end, moved before the snap.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty. First down.
We talked about it. The chemistry's got to be so hard to develop when you're not with your best player, really your best two offensive players. When you look at Terrence LaFall not playing the first two games, do you worry at all about the chemistry might have developed early being disrupted here?
Yeah, this is like game one for them. So the mistakes you would see people make in week one may show up now.
LaFall does a great job to maintain his balance. Tremendous run of 14 yards to the 49. Darren Merrill made this stop, but he spins his way close to a first down.
You mentioned Norfolk State seemed to be a little flat. Well, right now they're just getting out hustled. LaFall, that's all effort right there. Poor job of wrapping up, running through tackles. The Spartans need to wake up. Coach Adrian's got to be wondering what's going on with my football team right now. They get pushed around. They haven't seen this happen in several years.
McGee will tuck it and run for a first down. Dragging Eric Hitch, the fifth-year senior linebacker, into Norfolk State territory.
Last season, McGee, the only downside to his season last year was he fumbled the football a lot. On runs like that, he tends to run with the ball a little bit too far away from his body. Thought it would be something he would work on improving, keeping it close to his body there. So that's something to look at whenever he runs. How close does he keep that football? Can he reduce the number of fumbles?
Sophomore out of Pittsburgh Perry High School. Looking to throw on first down. The wide receiver's screen to Tyler Colvin. That time the Norfolk State defense swarmed to it. And no chance to set it up as Cameron Jude was there out of the defensive end spot, reading it well.
This is a key series right now for Norfolk State. They've got to stop them. They've got to stop Howard from putting any more points on the board and try and get the ball back for their offense. Howard has just been a ball hog in this first quarter, holding on to the football.
This changes the personality of the offense when you've got McGee in there, because they've been a running team with him on the bench. Able to open up that playbook some with a speed option. And LaFall tackled right away by Marcel Koch to set up 3rd and long.
Wow, this is a great job by Marcel Koch, the inside linebacker. You're going to see him just follow him, slip through the blocker, trying to get to him. Use your speed to get around him before that offensive lineman, Malcolm Crawford, can get in hand on him. He turned on the Jets and got around him and make a tackle for loss.
Spartans show pressure on 3rd and 11. Six-man pressure. McGee steps out of it. And plenty of space for a first down and more. Breaks out of a tackle. He's inside the 15. 35-yard run to convert and set up first down and 10 at the 11.
If you're going to blitz a quarterback, you've got to get to him because nobody accounts for him in the running game. Man-to-man coverage, the first wave doesn't get there. Great decision by McGee, and then picks up some extra yards after the first contact. Puts a little move on him. Darren Merrill, the free safety, got shook by McGee. Big play for Howard University.
They can still get a first down here. Ball spotted just inside the 11. LaFall behind Duncan. Run into the edge. Banged out of bounds by Lambert, but it's a gain of 8 on first down. That brings the first quarter to an end. What an opening quarter for the Howard Bison against the #1 team in HBCU. 13-0 as we go to the second. Norfolk State, fresh off their first ever MEAC championship, first ever FCS playoff berth, beginning their title defense in the conference opener today. And you see, rated by the Sheridan Broadcasting Network as the #1 team in HBCU, but it's been all Howard through 15 minutes, Jeff.
Yeah, they've completely dominated Norfolk State. You look at the top 10, Bethune-Cookman, I think, is playing some of the best football out there.
Howard, 10 first downs in that first quarter. Norfolk State, 11 yards in the first quarter of play. The second quarter begins with Howard knocking on the door again. This is Justin Duncan. Getting banged down inside the 5.
That's a good hard-nosed running. When you get down in the red zone, you know, holes are going to close a lot quicker. When it's not there, you almost just say lower your shoulder, keep your pad level low, and pick up as much as you can. Duncan did a good job having nothing there, but not losing yardage and gaining a yard.
Darren Christie in the game is the fullback here on 3rd down and 1. And it's Duncan again on a power play, surging, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. What a start for the Bison. 19-0 against the #1 team in HBCU football.
Inspired offensive line play. Look at the surge. Look at all the white jerseys. A body on a body right up the middle. That's power football.
First of the season for the senior from Andrews, South Carolina. Everybody getting involved early on for the Bison. Parker Munoz for his 3rd extra point attempt. Missed wide to the right after the 2nd touchdown. Well, Howard under Gary Harrell, 2nd-year head coach, trying to prove they belong back among the top of the MEAC and making a statement here at Dick Price. 20-0 early 2nd. Start for the underdog Bison, 20-0 early 2nd quarter. You can see there through the crowd Randy Liggins Jr., who started this game at quarterback. He's got his pads off, clearly injured, and that's the reason that Greg McGee has had to come into this game.
Yeah, and this is the play here. I mean, took a shot, had his back to the defense. Helmet comes off on the bottom of that pile.
He's got to come off of the field because the helmet came off on a non-penalty play. And because they used McGee, seemingly have burned the game that he was serving as a suspension, why not keep him in? Derek Demps and Keith Johnson waiting deep on this kick that'll send it into the end zone. So another touchback for John Fleck, neutralizing this solid return game for Norfolk State. Somebody's got to give a boost to this offense without a 1st down so far.
Yeah, and they've tried both quarterbacks, Flores as well as Basmagian, and they're still -9 yards rushing. And coming in, that was the strength of this team, the offense. They thought with Brendan Riddick running the football, Randy Mays, those guys, they thought they'd be able to run the football up and down the field, control the clock. It's been the exact opposite today.
And they have so far this season through 2 games, 237 yards a game on the ground. This is Riddick out of the Wildcat. Handed it off on the sweep play to Keith Johnson. Julian David was there to make this stop. Now, Riddick came in as a quarterback, and they've used him some in these situations here out of the Wildcat formation, but they will bring Basmagian back into the game under center.
Right now, offensive coordinator Howard Feggins, he's just trying to figure out what can we do to pick up a couple 1st downs, control the clock, put some points on the board.
Ibrahim Akebe with a stop on Riddick, who is the MEAC Offensive Player of the Week, the National FCS Freshman of the Week, for a career-high 150 yards and 3 touchdowns in the win against Liberty last week. That was a big win for this team on the road in a very tough environment. Had to come from behind to win that one. Pressure comes on 3rd and short. And Boyce climbs the ladder to make the catch and then drops it. It's 4th down. Boyce has fumbled today. Now he's got a drop that would have moved the chains.
Tough to call this one a drop because this ball sails on the quarterback. Watch him climb the ladder, go get it. Way up. And the defender was just right there. Couldn't secure the football there. Would have been a fantastic catch. But unfortunately for Norfolk State, it's been that type of day for them. They're forced to punt.
And still one you expect him to make, your NFL prospect.
You would. You would think he makes that catch, but good timing by the defensive back as well.
There's Curtis Simmons there to break it up. Brandon Flanagan ready to receive this punt. Already got a touchdown reception today.
delay of game on the offense, number 17, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
5th penalty already for Norfolk State.
They're struggling. I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe they started reading the press clippings, believing the hype as good as everybody was telling them that they were. But this is not a team that's playing like one of the best teams we've seen in the country.
Flanagan signals for the fair catch, battling the sun. Will haul it in at the 42. And this Howard offense, which hasn't been stopped yet, back onto the field. Now, Gary Flea Harrell trying to turn this program around. This would be a statement win if they could hold on today. ESPNU College Football Primetime is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Back here in Norfolk, 20-0, Howard in front. Speaking of big guns, Jay Walker here in the booth. What do you say, Jay?
Along with Joe Davis.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if big guns would work, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Give yourself credit. You played college quarterback. Once a quarterback, always one.
First down carry for Terrence LaFall. And it's been an impressive start to this game for Howard. I think especially offensively, Jay, they've kept Norfolk State totally off balance.
Yeah, they controlled the ball for 11 minutes in that first quarter. Ball possession and putting points on the board, more importantly. But if you're Howard, you got to think, keep your foot on the gas pedal. Run up the score, get as many points as you can, because you got to think a team as good as Norfolk State sooner or later is going to make a run to get back in this football game.
McGee checks to the sideline. Play clock inside at 10. They fake the jet sweep to Tyson, and McGee bursts through the center of the line near midfield. Gain of 7, 3rd down and 2 coming up. Here's offensive coordinator Ted White, who has really had a great plan to the first quarter plus of this game.
I mean, the play selection's been well. Everything's gone perfect for Howard University. That's Ted right there in the middle. All-time leading passer in the history of the MEAC conference, as well as Howard University. Broke some tall, light-skinned brothers' records with Howard.
Here's a free play. McGee trying to make it hurt. Jonathan Booker came off his feet but couldn't haul it in. And this is going to be, unless they were drawn off, the 5th offsides penalty on Norfolk State.
Offside on the defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty. And because of the yardage, gain from the penalty, 1st down.
And at this point in the game, you can tell that must have been part of the game plan for Howard, to have a quarterback continue to go on 2 or 3. They must have seen something with Norfolk State, and they're just exploiting them right now. And that's a mental error. Jumping off sides is a mental error. That's something where all you have to do is just wait for the ball to be moved, and then you take off. Right now, they're just mentally not in this football game.
Defending MEAC champs, preseason pick to win it again, getting dominated here on their own field. Fresh set of downs from the 45. And a flea flicker. McGee is hit as he throws, and it's dropped by Mike Privet, who very well could have taken it all the way back.
Wow, that was one of those plays. There were so many different things could have happened. The defense fell for the fake. There were 2 Howard wide receivers open deep downfield, but because of the pressure on the quarterback, McGee not able to step into the throw. Norfolk State bringing a blitz. Flea flicker. If McGee can step into that throw and not get hit by Lindell Trail, wide receivers were open deep down the field. Both teams were fortunate in that last play.
Short gain for LaFall there. 3rd down and 8.
And if Privet were able to hold on to that football, he would have gone into the end zone untouched.
He was probably thinking the same thing as the ball was coming down to him.
And that would have been just what the doctor ordered for Norfolk State to get him back in this football game. A pick 6 would have made this a completely different story.
It's Terrell Hawkins, senior, limping off of the field.
I mean, look, he's got it. I mean, it just would have been a foot race with an offensive lineman. You like to think he wins that battle every time. McGee was on his back from getting hit. What a missed opportunity for the Spartans.
3rd down and 8. Last time the Bison at 3rd and long. Terrence McGee ran for a first down. Sprint draw play. LaFall for a first down. Across the 35, and this has got to be so maddening for Pete Adrian, who saw this on film from last week's game.
You know it's coming, and the key is everybody sells it hard one direction to the right. He comes back, and look at that lane right there just to get through there. Good crease there. Number 75, Malcolm Crawford, the tackle, sneaking up to the next level to seal the edge.
Great start for LaFall, 67 yards on 10 carries in his debut. From the 33. LaFall pulled down from behind by Nico Washington. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
Very impressed with the play of the offensive line for Howard University. They've got some big bodies up there. They go 300 pounds across the board, except for the center, who weighs 280. A good lean, pushing the pile.
Norfolk State desperately needing somebody to step up and make a play. On 2nd down, play action. LaFall in the flats, run out of bounds. Mike Privet with a stop. It's a short gain, and it's 3rd down again. Louisville transfer, Privet, who dropped that interception earlier on this drive. Third down and 4. Off a 3-step drop, will fire a completion to Clayton Gidron for a first down.
Whoa, that's a big-time throw. I mean, I know it's just a hitch route that they've got there, but when you're going from one hash mark all the way across the field, he's on the left hash. This ball goes all the way across the field in a hurry. Not too many college quarterbacks have that arm strength to complete that throw. They make it look easy.
McGee didn't get any FBS offers. Decided on Howard based on, obviously, the chance to play early, but knew the opportunities that would come with a Howard degree would be great as well. Timeout taken, 9:30 left to go first half in a game dominated by Howard.
Here, we educate tomorrow's leaders today.
ESPN College Football is available anytime, anywhere on your computer or mobile device via WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. Back here at Dick Price Stadium in Norfolk, built in 1997. A little more than 12 million, one of the largest on-campus FCS stadiums in the land. On 1st and 10, they go to Terrence LaFall, who dances off of initial contact and uses his hand to maintain his balance for a pickup of 9. Keenan Lambert made the tackle, and LaFall has been impressive in his first game of the year.
Second effort. He's bottled in. There's nowhere to go. One-on-one. Got Keenan Lambert there, the safety. Made the tackle, but got taken for a ride by LaFall.
LaFall again, spinning for a first down. That's the 15th first down of the game for Howard J. Norfolk State has none.
Wow. I mean, this has been a thorough domination by Howard University on the road. What an impressive start for Howard and Norfolk State. On the sideline, they look like they're just shell-shocked right now. Like, what hit me?
A bigger set on play action, but nothing doing. Lyndon Trail off of the edge to sack Greg McGee. 2nd and goal.
Wow, tough call right there. That's what you can't afford to do. You've been running the ball for 5 yards a carry. Sometimes you get a little bit too cute there. Decide to go play action when the running game had been working. Big sack there by the big fella, Lyndon Trail.
Florida transfer, they think has serious NFL potential. Loss of 10 there, so 2nd and goal from the 16, and back to the ground with Aquanius Freeman. A flag down as he gets near the 10. Gary Harrell.
Offense, number 85. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Laying into David Wilson. 2 penalties today on the Bison, both on Wilson.
Now they've got 2nd and goal from the 25-yard line. They're going to have to do something. They've really had Norfolk State on the ropes, pounding the football. Got cute, went to the passing game. Now points are in question.
McGee rolling to the wide side of the field and sailing it for Brandon Flanagan. 3rd and goal.
This would be a big stop for Norfolk State. If they can hold the Bison to a field goal attempt on this drive and possibly no points, this could be one of those momentum swings they need. You've got to think sooner or later the offense is going to get a first down. They've got a lot riding on these next two plays.
5 defensive backs in on this 3rd down and goal from the 25. McGee with plenty of time, lofts it into the end zone, and it's broken up. Look for Clayton Gidron. And great defense by Nick Taylor, the junior. It's 4th down.
Well, that was actually perfect defensive play right there. This is the jump ball here. Watch me. He's got the catch, but a good job by Taylor of separating the wide receiver's arms. That's what they're taught to do. Get there, and he actually tipped that ball out of there too. Good job.
This is a 42-yard attempt for Parker Munoz, and it's nowhere close. So Norfolk State does get the stop. And maybe a hint of momentum for the Spartans finally.
And now you can finally hear the crowd getting involved in this football game. They think that may be that stop they needed to jumpstart the offense, try and get them back in this game.
A BCS Countdown is on ESPNU on Monday. Our analysts break down the key victories and defeats from Week 3, discuss their impact on the standings. Plus, we'll take a look at the key matchups looking ahead to Week 4. BCS Countdown presented by Tostitos, Monday at 6 on ESPNU. Norfolk State crowd trying to get this team in gear without a first down through a 1/4.5. Jake Bass-Mason off the zone read gives them a boost with their biggest play of the game. 19 yards to the 44. Carlos Knight with a stop, 1st and 10.
And now there's a sense of urgency. You can tell, good job here. The defensive line caves in on the dive with the run, pull it, get going, and now they've got the crowd involved into it. This is what the fans expected to see from Norfolk State.
After the first down of the game for the Spartans, they go straight ahead to Brendan Riddick. Ibrahima Kebe there with a stop, and it's 2nd and 9. It's an experienced Howard defense, 6 seniors, 5 juniors in the starting 11. But it's an offense for Norfolk State that is in the top 10 in the country when you look at running game. Bass-Mason dumps it off, and that screen blown up. Keith Pugh flying out of the middle linebacker spot with Brian Resby, making it 3rd down and long.
One thing Keith Pugh does is make tackles for losses. One of the best in the history of FCS. Going to sniff it out right away, take on the lineman's block, make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage just to add on to his career total for tackles for losses.
63 of them in his storied career now, needs just 2 more to become the all-time FCS leader. On 3rd and 14, time for Bass-Mason into a crowd, and it's broken up by Julian David as he looked for Derek Demps down the center of the field. 4th down.
You're thrown into the wind that they've got strong going here from right to left. You got to really step into that throw. Very difficult to get some zip on the ball this wind, and if you leave it up there hanging, it allows defensive backs to come over like Julian David did that last play and almost get the interception.
David, another guy they think has NFL potential. Junior out of Coral Springs, Florida. And no block punt. Carlos Knight came in and batted it off with the foot of Shaddix. And the momentum stolen right back. Knight, the senior from Nashville, untouched off of the edge.
Unbelievable. You know, Pete Adrian coach teams normally do two things really well. They play great defense and they play tremendous special teams. To have a punt blocked, and this is the third time this season that the opponent has gotten a hand on the football, whether it be a field goal try, a PAT, or a punt. Getting it blocked here, this is just so uncharacteristic of a Pete Adrian coach team.
They fake to Freeman and hand it to Tyson, the speedster, on the end around, but he's whipped down to the ground by Brent Singleton. Redshirt junior out of the middle linebacker's spot, drops him for a loss of 5, 2nd and 15.
Risky play call. When you got the ball back in great field position, you left points on the board your last drive. You've had success running the football directly at Norfolk State. No need to go side to side. Keep pounding the football. They were averaging almost 5 yards a carry with the fall. Now they've gotten away from it.
Here's Freeman. That's what they were doing so well for the first quarter and a half of this game. As soon as we gave credit to Ted White for his game plan, he's gotten cute.
Gotten a little bit cute, gotten too fancy.
Jamal Giddens made the stop. Back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10. Guy that followed you and broke all your records.
Yeah, well deserved. Good young man and one of the rising stars in the coaching ranks in terms of, if you look at the job, what he's been able to do here at Howard University, going from an offense that was one of the worst in the country to now, bright future, bright young quarterback, looked tremendous today.
And that play is blown up. Off of the edge. Okay, Deion King. And it's 4th down.
Nowhere to go. This is what you do against those teams that want to do that little zone read on the outside. Get the outside linebackers involved. Let them stay at home. Deion King, freshman from Porky Union Military Academy, down the road a little bit. Good job of staying at home, playing assignment football.
One of 10 true freshmen that's played for this Norfolk State team so far. And John Fleck punts it away to Marcus Cooperwood, who drops the ball. Luckily, a man right there to pick it up. It was Darren Merrow who saved the day. 20-0 Howard. Norfolk State trailed last week at halftime against Liberty and came back to win. A bigger deficit this week in the MEAC opener. Oh, the Norfolk State Band getting ready for their halftime show. Matt Schick and Tom Luganville getting ready for the State Farm halftime report. They'll talk about Virginia Tech, who was upset by Pitt today, Tennessee and Florida, Notre Dame and Michigan State. A couple of big games going on this evening across college football.
I wonder if the Norfolk State Band can fire up this offense, which has been a no-show. Pretty much Norfolk State has been a no-show. They need to get it going.
Out of the Wildcat, they snap it to the converted quarterback Riddick. And the front 7 for Howard, strong. No gain, 2nd down.
In this contest here, this is a very senior-laden Howard University Bison football team. They've gone through some adversity with coaching change in the middle. Prior to last season, with Coach Lee taking over, had back-to-back campaigns in which they won just one football game. Got a little taste of victory last season when they went 5-6. Now 1-1 this year, trying to see if they can go to 2-1 and go 1-0 in MEAC play.
No sense of urgency here at all.
Yeah, I think what they're looking at the clock right now, they're thinking we haven't been able to get anything going offensively. Milk that clock a little bit, where if we are forced to punt, then we can, Howard won't have much time on the clock.
Flag down as Riddick takes it again.
I don't know if you accept this penalty in this case.
Yeah.
They're backed up now, the 5 yards. You won't even get the full 5 yards. It'll basically move them back 2 yards.
On the offense. This penalty is declined. 3rd down.
And the same wavelength as your former receiver, huh?
Thinking that way. It's football IQ, football 101.
Nico Flores back into the game at quarterback. not seen him since early on. He's replaced by Jake Basmajian. Has one-on-one to the near side of the screen with Xavier Boyce. Looking that way, and he's got him for a first down. And Boyce fighting across the 25. The Brian Resby, Curtis Simmons there to drag him out of bounds after a gain of 19.
Well, big conversion there. That's what you want to see. If you've got a weapon like Boyce, call his number. Things are down. You need to get it going. Go to your go-to wide receiver. And this time he holds on to the football. Still took 3 Howard defenders to bring him down.
This is a guy in Boyce with NFL size, NFL speed, but coming into this game, 82 receiving yards through 2 games.
This offense really features the running game a little bit, but give credit to the coaching staff. They said we've got to figure out ways to get him the football more. I mean, he's that type of talent.
Flores on the zone read, pulls it with Sheets the end, taking the running back. Ibrahima Kebe with the stop. And now you've got to think that you would see a sense of urgency, right?
Yes, go to your 2-minute offense there. Get some points on the board. You've got a long way to go to get in field goal range.
Central Florida transfer Flores trying to engineer a drive to get Norfolk State on the board here in the first half. They trailed 17-7 at halftime last week on the road and won, but this is a 3-score deficit. Pocket holds for Flores, starts to collapse, and down he goes with a flag flying. And a helmet pops off of a Howard player. Ibrahima Kebe has to come out a play. Tobin Sheets was there for the sack. We'll see where the flag is.
This is a 15-yard penalty and automatic. First down.
So when the helmet comes off, you're supposed to stop, which is tough for a kid to do.
Yeah, you know, you're going to get to the quarterback, and you're going to see right there. Look, he doesn't even have a helmet on. They call a penalty. What do you do in that situation there? I mean, this is the matchup they're talking about right there. And they got him for a personal foul, and he's playing without a helmet. You know, it actually should be. Well, I guess that's tough with that helmet rule. I mean, you're not supposed to block somebody with the helmet on.
First signs of life for this offense. First catch of the day for Reggie Garrett. A short gain across midfield. Now again, if a player loses his helmet, he can't participate in the play. He can't be blocked, or it's a 15-yard penalty. And in his case, he participated and was blocked.
So that's what they flagged him for. So when the helmet came off, he was supposed to stop.
Right, which is tough to do.
Which is tough to do.
On the field is a completed pass. The play is under further review.
So they're going to take a look at this. Yeah, I mean, instincts are not to, when your helmet comes off, stop playing.
So then they got him for the helmet coming off, and then it's a good job by them not penalizing the offensive line. This is the replay there. He got the foot down. I guess they may be looking to see if he had possession of it.
Pete Adrian, 8th season at Norfolk State. Reigning MEAC Coach of the Year, just signed a 2-year extension this August, but has really turned this program around.
And he did a phenomenal job. He was the defensive coordinator at Bethune-Cookman for so many years. While he was there, really groomed a lot of talent that made it to the National Football League with Shane Mathis, Stephen Baggs, Nick Collins. I think this play is going to stand. He did a good job of maintaining possession. Got the 1 foot in. And then when you talk about Adrian coming up here to Norfolk, took over a program that never had an identity. Now he's got an identity. They have high expectations.
After further review, the play is confirmed.
Norfolk State had won a total of 2 games in the 2 seasons prior to his arrival in 05. They're 45-36 under him. Took them to their first ever MEAC championship, first ever playoff berth at the FCS level last year. On 2nd and 7, Riddick's open underneath for a first down inside the 35. It's a gain of 14, and finally Norfolk State moving the ball.
Good place to go with the football there by Flores. Riddick on basic check down out of the backfield and able to get plenty of yards after the catch.
All 11 defenders within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage on 1st and 10, and a jailbreak. Takeem Hedgeman made the catch, and Julian David just saved a huge gain with a tackle.
Yeah, they brought it all. Coming up the middle, you're going to see Keith Pugh gets right there on the quarterback, and good job by Flores just to get rid of that ball. And as you mentioned, with nobody back there, had he broke that tackle, that would have been a touchdown.
Clock winding down to 1 minute left in this half. 2nd down and 7 for the Spartans. Another screen play, and it's thrown away. He's looking to dump it off for Hedgeman to the far side of the field.
Wow. I mean, Ray Petty right now for Howard is bringing pressure from all directions. This time, pressure up the middle, pressure on the outside. That's Anthony Whitlow, number 33 for Howard, putting the hit on Flores, and they are definitely emptying out the blitz playbook at Howard right now.
Whitlow, one of 6 seniors in this starting defense. 6 seniors, 5 juniors out of the starting 11. Trying to pitch a shutout in this first half against the #1 team in HBCU. On 3rd down, just a 3-man rush. Down the sideline for Hedgeman, but he missed him. And he had him behind Curtis Simmons, wide open. 4th and 7.
Wouldn't have counted anyway. Hedgeman stepped out of bounds running along the sideline. Good job by Hedgeman getting out of the backfield on the wheel route. You'll see he was going to step out of bounds a couple times before the ball got to him. See the official threw his hat there. He saw him run out of bounds as well.
And they're going to bring the kick team onto the field with Everett Goldberg. Handled only long field goals last season, made 6 of them, and they were all from 47 yards or longer.
Timeout. Norfolk State. Third and final timeout.
This would be a 48-yarder if they do decide to go with it. Goldberg so far this season 1 for 4. Only mate coming from 31. Well, Jay, we're moving into the middle part of this season almost. Give me 5, Jay. What do you got power rankings wise?
Let's take a look at the power rankings. The team on the bubble, Alabama A&M, 2-0. They've got to show me some more offense before they crack the top 5. Alabama State, although they got beat by Bethune, won last week. They're number 5. They'll compete in the SWAC title. South Carolina State, even though they got beat by Bethune-Cookman, let's face it, it was Bethune-Cookman. Very good team. Number 3, Norfolk State. Behold, they may be moving on down the top 5 if they don't get their act together, but big victory versus Liberty.
We'll take a look at the other 2 after this field goal attempt.
Who are they going to be?
I don't know. Suspense, cliffhanger. Goldberg's career long is from 51. They'll call this 49, trying to get the Spartans on the board before the break. And it's blocked. The 4th time this season they've had a ball blocked on either a kick or an extra point. And Howard has dominated this first half in every phase of the game. Tovan Sheets was there.
Just coming right up the middle. You know, when teams know they got a potential chance for a block, they tend to practice that a little bit more. Long field goal into the wind, just elevate it and manage to get a hand on it. That's big Tovan Sheets number 56, actually.
Yeah. Ibrahim Akabi got his hand on it. And perfectly content with a 20-0 lead. Greg McGee will take a knee. And we're going to finish up those rankings. What do we got for the top 2 in the HBCU power rankings, Jay?
Number 2 is Big Blue. Tennessee State Tigers. Impressive victories over Florida A&M and Jackson State. And the #1 team in all of black college football, if you ask me. Boom, boom, boom. Wildcats. Bethune-Cookman, impressive victory over Alabama State as well as South Carolina State. And also played University of Miami today. Very competitive. In the first half, they're a very good football team coached by Brian Jenkins.
Based on this first half, Howard's got to be sniffing the power rankings, huh?
They're getting close. They may have to leapfrog Alabama A&M because if Norfolk State doesn't get their act together, there's going to be a vacancy in the top 5.
Trying to knock off the defending MEAC champs, and up 20-0 as we go to the break, and we send it to the studio for the State Farm halftime report. Here's Matt and Tom. Welcome back to ESPNU College Football Primetime presented by McDonald's. 20-0, Howard in front after one half here in Norfolk, trying to pull the upset over the reigning MEAC champions. Let's take a look at how Norfolk State can get to a better state. Brought to you by State Farm.
They got to get the running game for Howard University slowed down. Howard rushed for 150 yards, and a lot of it was after the initial contact. You've got the quarterback, Greg McGee, averaged 9 yards a rush. Terrence LaFall averaged almost 5 yards per carry. If Norfolk State's going to get to a better state in this football game, it starts with slowing down the Howard University rushing game.
And Norfolk State will have the ball to begin this second half. They trailed by 10 against Liberty last week and came back to win that game in large part because of their special teams. Keith Johnson, who waits deep for this kick, had a punt return for a touchdown. They're just looking for somebody to make a play.
And if they can score on the initial drive and make this a 13-point contest, they'll be right back in it. Keep in mind, a year ago when these two teams played, Howard scored on the opening possession and did not score again for the rest of the game. And you start to see there at the end of the first half, Howard should have put more points on the board. They didn't. The Norfolk State defense woke up.
Derek Demps to return the kick. And Lasso down to the 17 is going to have a penalty call. Face mask, it looks like, on Darren Christie.
On return of a personal foul, face mask, 41, kicking team. 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Well, first 5 drives for Norfolk State, they had just 1 first down, and then that final drive of the first half, they finally got something going. What was the difference?
They seemed like they went to Boyce a little bit more, their playmaker. Things were getting desperate for them, so they found Boyce, found creative ways to get him the football. Better decision making by Nico Flores, taking the check down, what the defense was giving them.
Offense had just 84 yards during the first half total. And they begin straight ahead with a converted quarterback, Brendan Riddick. Offensive line for Norfolk State has been solid through 2 games, but the front 7 today from Howard's been better.
Yeah, very stout defense. And I think going into the year, Howard knew they were going to have a very good defense. I'm sure they didn't think they'd be playing with a 20-point advantage. So if you're Ray Petty at Howard, do you go more conservative or do you continue to be aggressive as they were in the first half, calling blitzes from all over the football field?
On 2nd and 7, a screen for Boyce. That play is run down beautifully by Brian Resby. A short gain, and it's 3rd down.
But I like the call. Get the ball to Boyce. See if he can make something happen. Wide receiver screen. First guy doesn't bring him down, but Resby comes down from the inside to track him down for the tackle.
Spartans were 1 for 7 on 3rd down during that first half. When you got a guy like Boyce at 6'4", and you're getting somewhat soft coverage, don't you look there?
You look to him right away. Any chance you get as a quarterback, you say, if he's not double covered with somebody over the top, I'm going there. Right now in this look, you've got to be thinking going Boyce's direction.
They go away from him, and it's off with the hands of Garrett, and incomplete, 4th down. Curtis Simmons on coverage.
Down and distance sometimes dictate where you go with the football. They only needed 6. That ball was tipped, but look at Boyce one-on-one. See, in that foot race there, he's going to win. He put the air underneath it for the big play capability.
So Dylan Shaddix, who had one blocked already. They've had 5 block kicks on special teams this season. This is a good one from Shaddix. Takes a Howard bounce to the 15. And down by Keenan Lambert. Well, Greg McGee, who we didn't think we would see Only in an emergency situation. It was the new helmet rule that forced his hand. Randy Liggins Jr. had to come out because his helmet popped off on a non-penalty play. So McGee, who still has another game to serve on his 3-game season opening suspension, forced into action. 3 for 7 during that first half. Ran for 39 yards on 4 carries. Reigning freshman of the year in the MEAC and the preseason offensive player of the year this year. Terrence LaFall on first down. Darren Merrill out of the safety spot put an end to the play. We talked about it with our State Farm Get to a Better State. They're going to have to stop the run if you're Norfolk State.
And what Howard's doing is they're running directly straight ahead, right at them, challenging them. You see, that's Randy Liggins Jr., the quarterback, who got back spasms.
Stretch play for LaFall. And a first down with Merrill making the stop near the 20. And again, Randy Liggins Jr., who started this game, looks to be finished.
It looks like he's trying to loosen it up, but
LaFall dancing, trying to find a hole. Not much doing on first down. Nico Washington out of the nose spot was there.
See, and if you're Howard, this is what you want to do. First series, pick up a first down, no 3 and outs, run the football, let the clock continue to tick away in your favor. And just really leaning on that offensive line.
There is a flag down, and it may have come before the play.
We had 2 players moving in the backfield. They did not reset. So we're going to have a false start on the offense. First down.
Fleet Harrell letting his group hear about it.
Where'd he get that intensity from?
He didn't have that when you were playing with him?
Laid back type guy. I mean, one of those quiet people you will meet. You know, kind of amazes me every time I see him turn it on. And the man he's become, the ability to motivate this team and represent his university very well. Whatever he's saying is working because he's got the boys fired up and ready to play today.
Means he's probably a good roommate, right, if he's quiet?
I had to practice on somebody, right?
And a whistle before the snap. Howard ran for 150 yards during that first half. They had 150 yards total against Rutgers last week. On first down and 15, Aquanius Freeman can't get away from the defense, and a flag down at the end of the play. Jamal Giddens with a stop. Maybe a face mask coming here.
And that's a tough one there where you got the penalty, you sniff out the play, and if this is a face mask, they'll get the first down.
Personal foul, face mask, number 9. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Coach Adrian, he's just saying, we just can't catch a break today. You know, everything that can go wrong seems to be going wrong for the Spartans.
Only Tennessee State penalized more frequently than Norfolk State through 2 games this year. And there have been some big ones on the Spartans on defense specifically. Freeman with a first down call. Behind Morris and Hawkins on the left side of the line. Marcel Koch there for the stop, and it's second down.
And what you're starting to see Norfolk State do on defense is really crowd the line of scrimmage, bringing in their outside linebacker Trail close to the line of scrimmage, almost using him as a defensive end, trying to shrink the running lanes that the Bison have to see.
2nd and 6. Terrence LaFall trying to dance outside, but nothing doing. Keenan Lambert was there defensively, and it's 3rd down. Boy, could Norfolk State use a stop to begin this second half.
They need a stop or a turnover, more importantly, would be better for Norfolk State to get it going.
Pressure shown by Norfolk State on the option play. McGee had to cut it upfield, and he's short of the first down.
Good decision not to pitch the football with two Spartan defenders coming. They would have tackled the running back for a loss in the backfield there. Not the start that you want in terms of crossing midfield, but they did manage to move the ball a little bit, pick up a couple first downs, and good special teams play can win the battle of field position.
Now, Keith Johnson, wearing number 12 in green, last week gave Norfolk State its first lead of the game in the third quarter against Liberty with an 83-yard punt return for a touchdown. Waiting back with Derek Demps. High spiraling unreturnable kick. Well done by John Fleck. So Norfolk State's offense out of the field after a punt of 42 when we come back.
Hey, thanks for
State defending MEAC champions on the ropes here in the MEAC opener of 2012. 20-0, Howard in front. Along with former Howard quarterback Jay Walker, Joe Davis on hand. Dick Price Stadium here in Norfolk. And Nico Flores brings the Spartans offense back onto the field after 3 and out began the second half. Looking to throw to the short side, and a dangerous toss is hauled in by Reggie Garrett. His second catch of the day. What's it going to take for this offense to get it cranked up, Jay?
You know, they've got to get out of their comfort zone. This is an offense that normally moves the ball slowly down the field. They don't rely on the big play so much, and when they do, they go to Boyce. So I think they've got to try and get Boyce some more touches. He hasn't touched it often this season. Now, down by 20 at home, got to unleash the offense, unleash the beast.
Into the flats on second down for Riddick, who couldn't hang on. The Brian Resby was right there with the coverage, and it's 3rd down and 6.
It's been that type of day for Norfolk State. A number of drop balls that have gone on the ground in crucial situations. Fumbled the ball 3 times in the first half. Fortunate to recover 2 of them. To be honest, they're very lucky to be down only 20-0. I mean, they could have easily been gone down 30, 35-0. But the defense made some stops there at the end of the first half. The offense yet to get it going.
Ball snapped over Flores' head, and the best that he can do is fall on top of it to bring the punt team out of the field.
This is the 22nd ranked team in FCS, but they're not playing like it today.
The center, Michael Kay, who's the leader of this defense, not on the same page.
They've had a punt block already. Now, you normally need 14 yards to get off a punt. They're going to have about 11 yards. You've got to think that Howard's going to come and try and get another block punt here.
Shaddix able to get rid of it, and a good one, but Brandon Flanagan with all kinds of room. Inside the 30 on a return of 18 yards. Dominant performance by the Bison today, 20-0 early on in this third quarter.
The Mideastern.
ESPNU College Football Primetime is brought to you by Lexus. Introducing a stunning work of technology, the entirely new Lexus ES. And by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up. Welcome back to ESPNU College Football Primetime, presented by McDonald's. Let's take a look at our Bringing the Flavor, brought to you by McDonald's.
We run you off the field, so you're never coming back. HBCUs, here we go. See you, leave you on the ground. I wanna be you in a MEAC swag, leave you out of whack. We run you off the field, so you're never coming back.
That was our Bringing the Flavor, brought to you by McDonald's. Howard with the ball in great field position, already up 3 touchdowns. Drive starting at the 28 with a stretch play for Terrence LaFall. Slaps Terrence Pugh's hand off him and gets a few yards. Eric Hitch there to push him out. LaFall has given this team a big boost with his return after missing the first 2 games with a suspension.
Yeah, running well behind the offensive line, and doesn't seem like he's missed a beat. Thought he might have been a little bit rusty, but he's come in here and done some good hard-nosed running. Really the catalyst to this offensive attack for Howard.
Over 100 yards on the day now. On 2nd and 7. McGee will tuck it. A strong run across the 20. Eric Hitch with back-to-back tackles.
That seemed like a busted play there. That just tells you about the athleticism of McGee. Doing a play-action fake, looking around. There's nobody there. So what does he do? Just tuck it. Big, strong kid. Picks up 3 yards.
Third down and short. They've often done this in short yardage situations today, putting Justin Duncan at tailback. Behind Darren Christie. Sidesteps his way to a first down.
And that's how you know you've got a good offensive line. You know, when it's 3rd and 2 yards or less, do you have the ability to let the defense know we're going to run the football, smash mouth, hard nose, who wins the battle line of scrimmage? And Howard right there just showed you they picked up those 2 yards rather easily to give them the first down.
If you're Gary Harrell on the Bison, you got to feel like you can put this game out of reach here, don't you?
You know, they've had the opportunity all in the first half. I think it's very important that they come away with some points. They left some points on the board in the first half. You got to think sooner or later Norfolk's going to find a way to score a couple points. You need to help out your defense.
LaFall pushed out of bounds after a short gain to the short side of the field. And mass defensive subs coming in for a Norfolk State unit that has been in the top 10 in the country each of the last 4 seasons defensively. Now, in their defense, they've had some tough field position to deal with today.
They have. Offense hasn't helped them out at all. And they've got some guys that fly around the football. And ever since they've given up the 20 points, they've been pretty stout and haven't given up any more points.
Short roll on 2nd and 9 to the end zone for Flanagan, who's already got 1 score today. Darren Merrill with the defense, and it's 3rd and 9.
Same combination, same route. This time Norfolk State did a better job of covering the receiver, but that's one of those throws where you've got to think wide receivers got him beat by almost 2 steps. You know, Greg McGee showing a little bit of rust there. You've got to be able to hit that throw for the score.
Bison 6 for 11 on 3rd down today. Yeah, this is going to be 3rd and 14.
False start. 73. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Making it hard. Terrell Hawkins, a senior left guard from Friendly High School, Fort Washington, Maryland. Been injury plagued throughout his career. Seems to be putting it together here for a senior season, but that case there, you got to hold that stance.
Trying to reset the clock here. And they do add some time. He asked for 8-18. He's still looking up at the scoreboard.
Is he up by 20 points or is he losing by 20? Coach it, I don't get him.
They're happy with 8-10. On 3rd down and long, he'll dump it off for Jonathan Booker. And the defense from Norfolk State disciplined to the short side of the field, 4th down.
Yeah, you know, Norfolk State, they figured out what Howard's been doing to him. I mean, Howard had great field position to start that drive. They're going to have to settle for a field goal attempt. One thing I give credit to Pete Adrian for, I don't know if there's anybody better in the country, maybe Yogi Jones down at Bethune-Cookman, but at making defensive adjustments, figuring out what teams are doing, and then his teams always seem to rally hard in the second half.
40-yarder for Parker Munoz, who sneaks it through. Just enough leg for him. 1 for 2 today, and it's a 23-0 lead for Howard. Can Norfolk State find an answer? It's been all Howard from the start today, 23-0. They began with Randy Liggins, Jr. quarterback, produced 13 points on his 3 possessions. Then his helmet came off. And the emergency quarterback is Greg McGee, who's supposed to be out for the 3rd game of his suspension. They've got to bring him in, and that burns this game. It can't be a suspended game, so they might as well keep him in.
I think McGee's success thus far has been running the football, which is a surprise, one of the best passers in the conference.
13 players have faced school-imposed, NCAA-approved suspensions to begin the year, stemming from the issues regarding misuse of their textbook allowances. And McGee, with the 3-game suspension, supposed to have one more. John Fleck to kick it away. They got a boost on special teams from Keith Johnson last week, and they get a boost from him here out to the 37. A return of 26 yards. Tackled by Aquanius Freeman. And Norfolk State looking for some kind of offense. Nico Flores back onto the field, redshirt junior from Miami. Been solid with the mental side for them early on. Through 2 games this season, but he'll need to be solid as a leader and as a thrower to bring them back. Drive starts at the 38 out of an empty set, and he's way off with the mark, looking for Derek Demps, 2nd and 10.
This is one here where they're doing a good job of denying Boyce. So now I think the Howard defense realizes the big play potential of Boyce, so they're playing one underneath and one over the top. When that happens as a quarterback, you got to go to another match. If Boyce is on your single receiver side on the right, you've got 3 receivers down here to the left. If you see 2 defenders over there, you've got to go away from Boyce.
2nd and 10. Underneath for Boyce. On the drag. Runs away from a defender. And is near the 40. 21-yard reception for the Virginia Tech transfer to Brian Resby. Knocked him out.
Just a wide receiver drag route. Linebackers turned. And you see what he can do when he gets the ball. Just outruns the defense to the sideline. Showing you the speed and the flashes that have, what did the coach say, 2 to 3 NFL scouts at practice every day.
Drooling over that 6'4", 220 size with a 4.5 speed. Look for Demps again. Good defense from DeCarlos Knight along with Josh Jordan. 2nd and 10.
You talk about Xavier Boyce and the speed he's got there. You say 4.5, you hear about guys running 4.3. Aren't too many 6'4", 6'5 receivers running 4.5 with the ability to jump and run.
They've got one-on-one coverage with him to the near side. He's got a 5-inch advantage on Josh Jordan. Flores stands tall and throws tall, but Reggie Garrett pulls it in for a 1st down inside the 30. 14-yard pickup, and the passing game showing some signs of life.
So you're going to see him take the skinny post. Howard bringing the blitz. You see Pugh coming along with Anthony Whitlow. Both linebackers means you've got one-on-one coverage. Find a matchup. Great catch by Reggie Garrett.
5th-year senior out of Chesapeake. Four-man pressure. Flores will take off near the 15-yard line with a flag at the end of the play.
That's going to be a personal foul, I'm pretty sure. On number 10, green. That's Riddick. Freshman mistake there if they flag him for that one. I mean, the play was pretty much over. And Riddick went over there and decided to take a shot at one of the Howard defenders.
We have a dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the offense, number 10. 15 yards from the end of the run.
The play's over. Going towards the sideline, he decides to engage. Run. The quarterback was 5 yards out of bounds. The play was dead. That's one there. Called that the freshman mistake. Negates big run by Flores.
The penalties today, there have been 8 of them for Norfolk State, but seemingly always coming in a big spot.
1st down.
3rd down and 3 or 4 yards, jumping off sides, giving Howard a 1st down, and then after a big run, you get a penalty, takes you out of the red zone.
So 1st and 10 at the 32.
Flores senses pressure from Howard. Think they're going to blitz him.
7 men at the line of scrimmage. They back off. Flores over the top into traffic for Joseph Hawkins. The second team all MEAC tight end sets up first down at the 10.
What a grab. They baited him into thinking the blitz was coming. But a great throw and an even more spectacular catch by Joseph Hawkins. The concentration, catch it with his hands, gets hit and still holds on for the grab.
Spot it right at the 10 and call it first and goal. 10 trips to the red zone this season for Norfolk State. They've come away with just 5 touchdowns. Pressure up the middle. Flores steps into it. That is knocked out inside the 10. Eric Pittman made the stop. Second and goal. Got to get a touchdown out of this script.
Yes, you've got to. And you've got to know that as a quarterback. You know, protect the football. Don't take any unnecessary chances. This is definitely 4-down territory. One thing we've seen from Flores, he looks more calm, his demeanor. Maybe he's figured out what the Howard defense has been doing to him.
And a flag down. Going to be an illegal procedure.
Prior to the snap, false start on 52 offense. 5-yard penalty.
And what'd you say?
Second down.
You said it earlier. It seems like the penalties come in costly situations. You got the ball, second and goal inside the 10-yard line. Now they move you back 5 yards. Good football teams to not do that time and time again and expect to win.
9th penalty of the day on the Spartans. Reigning MEAC champs down 23-0. Closing minutes of this third quarter. They've got Xavier Boyce one-on-one to the top of the screen. Over the middle, it's Riddick dragging the defender into the end zone for a touchdown. Josh Jordan grabbed him at the 5 but couldn't hang on. And Norfolk State finally on the board.
Good job of just hitting the hot read. Middle of the field wide open. Good route run by Riddick out of the backfield. Hit him in stride, touchdown. And behold, the green and gold are on the scoreboard.
And a whistle, they may review the spot on this.
The play field is a touchdown. The play is under further review.
Be a good shot here, Jay.
And I guess the key is where's the ball when the knee hits the ground? I think you got to give him that. He extended out. And, you know, it doesn't seem like there's enough evidence to say that he clearly was not in. He did a good job extending that ball out there before he hit.
And I can see where you could make a case for it to be the other way, but you got to keep in mind that it's got to be undisputable video evidence.
That's the key right now. Knee still up, balls across the line. And keep in mind the MEAC conference is the only conference in FCS football that utilizes instant replay for televised games. So kind of a unique twist that Commissioner Thomas has decided to do, which I think helps out. You want them to get the call right. Touchdown, just like in National Football League. Touchdowns, close plays in terms of spotting the ball, goal line.
After further review, the play stands as called.
All right. So touchdown number 5 for Brendan Riddick to lead the MEAC. And now this extra point, extra big because this is to cut it to a 2-possession game. Everett Goldberg to attempt it. They've had 2 extra points and 2 field goals blocked this season already. So Norfolk State cuts it to 16. They were desperate for some offense, desperate for some big plays, and the biggest one on that drive, Joseph Hawkins, a tight end, going up and getting that ball for 22.
Fantastic catch he made running down the seam. Flores stood tall in the pocket, delivered a catchable pass. And more importantly for Norfolk State, overcame the penalties that have been hindering and hampering their offense all evening. They were able to overcome the penalties.
Oh, Jay, there's a new late night show on ESPNU. It's the perfect nightcap.
There. He's got to be feeling good about his Knowles this year.
Well, a blowout win today in a game that I think a lot of people thought would be much closer against Wake Forest. Rodney Tyson and William Parker back to receive this kick from Everett Goldberg. Tyson, a freshman, very good speed, explosive returner. Tyson moving away, will bring it back. Got the wall sealed, and Tyson breaks into the open field. Kicker to beat, running by him. Rodney Tyson all the way back. Touchdown. But a flag down back at the 30.
Whoa.
100-yard return for Rodney Tyson, but it's probably coming back.
Wow. That flag came from that sideline, and it seemed as if Tyson was by at least 10 yards past. What a great return.
Where sideline interference. This will be a 15-yard penalty. The touchdown is good.
So it stands. 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown for the redshirt freshman Rodney Tyson. It's the second straight week that Norfolk State has given up a touchdown on special teams. Now, Gary Harrell told us he was excited to see Rodney Tyson make his debut, missed the first couple of games. So dangerous with a football, and he showed that playmaking ability, cutting it against the grain and taking it 100 yards for a huge score to take that momentum right back.
And you know how you know Tyson must be a good football player with high expectations? He's wearing number 1. That was Flea's number when he played at Howard, special teams guy. And if you put it on, the freshman there, returner, exciting play there.
So right when Norfolk State cuts it to 2 scores on the ensuing kickoff, Rodney Tyson takes it back to make it a 3-score game once again.
Well, good job. I mean, questionable whether or not you bring it out from 5 yards in the end zone, but they had a nice wall set up to the right, and then he goes against the grain, and it becomes a foot race between he and the kicker, and Goldberg held on as long as he could. But if you're a return man and you can't outrun the kicker, you're not a very good return man.
Yeah.
When you see the flag right there,
Oh, come
that
on.
may be on coaches. They called it on the coaches. That's kind of close. That's nitpicking there a little bit.
Credit to Devin Rollins and Justin Duncan, who had the initial block to spring him free.
This is not the Norfolk State team that they're used to having here. I mean, they used to always win the battle of special teams. Defense was always the strong part. And that was, when you talk to Coach Adrian, that was his recipe. He said if I win 2 out of 3 every week, then normally I'm going to win the football game. Well, I think they're going 0 for today. The defense has been gashed. Special teams has been disappointing. And the offense is just now getting on the scoreboard.
A 15-yard penalty on the sideline infraction will be assessed on this kickoff, so John Fleck has to boot it away from his own 20. Johnson and Demps waiting deep. Good Norfolk State answer with a special teams play of its own. It's the MEAC Special Teams Player of the Week, Johnson, from the 23. And Johnson spins out to the 43-yard line on a return of 20. 4:29 left to go in this third quarter. Now Norfolk State, Jay, seemingly had taken the momentum for the first time in the game, but it's taken right back A lot of weight on the shoulders of Nico Flores to get him back on track here.
Yeah, you've got to just stick to what you did in the last drive. That was his most impressive looking drive. You can't get it all back. You've got time in the third quarter. Just continue to be patient. And Howard wants to blitz, just throw the ball underneath. That route's been there all day.
Angle route out of the backfield to Riddick. Keith Pugh with his 6th tackle of the day to lead the team. First down gain of 7, and at this point, Flores just taking what they're giving him.
And that's what you've got to do. You've got to have the patience to realize vertically down the field, they're not giving me anything. I can't get the ball to Boyce. If you're going to have running backs coming out of the backfield, take it 5-6 yards at a time, and maybe a good runner like Riddick will make somebody miss, and it becomes a touchdown like they had on their last possession.
2nd and 3. Flores can dump it off if he wants to again. Instead, will take off and crumble down to the 41. 8 yards and another first down.
We're talking about the check down, taking what they give you. I mean, watch Riddick right here. Tell me, is he covered by anybody? I'd rather have the running back with the ball than a quarterback running. Nobody's on him. Get him that ball. He can make a guy miss, and it could have been a big play. They're going to continue to allow your running backs to go out the backfield without being checked. You got to find ways to get the football in stride.
Basic 4-man rush. Flores steps up over the seam for Derek Demps. Fighting down to the 11. Curtis Simmons with a stop after a gain of 31.
Attacking the middle of the field. They've got vertical routes called there. Good job by Demps of getting around the middle linebacker, Tabrian Resby. Nicely thrown pass from Flores.
First catch of the day for Demps. Came into this one 2nd on the team on the season in receptions. So the Spartans answering right back. From the 10, 1st and 12. Flores with pressure coming. Zings it incomplete. Would have been a touchdown for DeCarlos Knight. We're even now because Norfolk State dropped the touchdown interception in the first half.
Good job of reading the route. Breaks on the ball. Just eats him up. Nothing but green pasture in front of him. That could have been a game-clinching interception for pick 6 had they been able to hold on to the football.
Knight, a senior out of Nashville. Really good playmaker. Was unable to make one there. On 2nd and 10. Pressure from the near side. Lofting for the corner, but out of the reach of the sophomore Keith Johnson. 3rd and 10. Got to give him a chance.
The last as many years as we've been calling games, I've never seen the sideline miss a tackle. Ball's thrown out of bounds. Normally don't get caught. Give your playmaker a chance. Keep the ball in play. You see a lot of young quarterbacks throw deep routes out of bounds.
Norfolk State 1 for 9 on 3rd down, and just like last drive, a field goal doesn't do you any good here. They drop 6 into coverage. Demps dropped the ball. Perfectly thrown by Nico Flores, and it's 4th down. They'll keep the offense on the field. Demps despondent.
Yeah, good throw here. This time he kept it in play. And that's a perfectly thrown ball. Just does not secure it. Got to have that.
4th down. They can't get a first down without scoring. They need the 2. Pressure up the middle. Flores rolling to his right, across his body for a touchdown. Xavier Boyce got free. First touchdown of the season for the 5th-year senior out of Virginia Beach.
What a great job by Nico Flores, the quarterback. Boyce was the recipient, but watch Flores. The blitz is coming up the middle. He breaks outside the pocket. They don't get him. Buys some time with his feet, keeps his vision downfield, and throws a perfect pass to Xavier Boyce.
That was a standing version of Robert Griffin, right? The
Standing version of it. Griffith sits down and Boyce was doing it standing up.
So they're going to go for 2 here. This is huge. Trying to cut it to 2 possessions again. Timeout taken.
Timeout. State, their first charge timeout.
First timeout they've taken. College Football Daily is your destination for all the latest reports and comprehensive analysis on this 2-point conversion.
You normally like to set a little pick play if you can, but it's not technically called a pick, a little rub. So
because a pick's illegal.
Pick's illegal, so you just want to get bunch formation and just try to spring somebody. 2 guys going in, rubbing on it, and trying to get somebody out in the flat. But normally most 2-point plays are you try and look for your pre-snap read where you can get leverage, get somebody just quickly across that goal line.
You've got Xavier Boyce, who's 6'4".
So you're thinking the jump ball.
You got to use him somehow.
And all depends on what matchup you get. If you get the one-on-one outside, you think he'd be a premier target.
They're going to bunch him up with Keith Johnson to the far side of the field.
See, I like that too, because now you don't know if he's going to do the fade or is he going to come across the formation.
Now he's matched up one-on-one. They look towards him. They throw.
Threw it out of bounds.
Didn't give him a chance. And that's huge. It's still a 3-possession game. So they get the touchdown to Boyce, but can't convert the 2-point conversion. And it's still going to take 3 scores for Norfolk State.
They've got time, and with the way their defense has been playing as of late, the special teams has to get their act together. One thing they have not been able to do is win the battle of field position.
Now, Boyce still awaiting the ruling on felony child endangerment charges stemming from last March. Doctors said that his infant daughter appeared to have suffered abusive head trauma. And the judge has said that he needs more time to make a ruling. I'm talking with Pete Adrian about it. He says they hope to have everything resolved in the coming weeks, hoping to prove his innocence. And he said that he's been a model citizen since he's gotten here to Norfolk.
Yeah, you figure with those type of charges out there, you know, it's got to be kind of tough to do it. But to his credit, Coach Adrian says he comes to work every day, goes to class every day. But at some point, you got to think it takes its toll. I know it's something that a young man would like to have behind him.
Rodney Tyson took it 100 yards the last time he touched it. From the 2, sets up the blocks and accelerates past the 30. Riddick with a stop on a return of 33. Quite a playmaker they've got here.
Yeah, he's got to have that kind of knack for the timing. So often young returners will rush so quickly to get to the hole that they won't allow the protection to set up for him. He's got good patience and he's quick enough to start and stop.
Is he as quick as Flea?
I don't know, man. Flea was a bad boy. People know. I mean, there's a reason why he was able to get drafted in the NFL at 5'6", 145 pounds.
Here's Terrence LaFawn on first down. Brent Singleton plugged the hole out of the linebacker's spot. 2nd and 6 coming up.
Once again, advantage offensive line. If you can run the ball on first down and pick up 4 yards, that's controlling the line of scrimmage.
The Bison worked real quickly during the first half. They ran 47 plays. This is the first time we've really seen them slow down the tempo.
They're up by 17. You want to milk that clock down a little bit. You got an offense from Norfolk State that scored in 2 consecutive possessions. Trying to deflate the football a little bit.
Here's a power play to the right side from McGee. Another tackle for Brent Singleton. Keenan Lambert was there as well. Markham a yard short, 3rd down and 1. And a chance for this Norfolk State defense to get the ball right back.
They can get a stop, but it's been these situations where Howard has shown the ability to line up behind that big offensive line and just push forward and pick up the first down.
Inside of 1.5 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. Bison in no hurry. Spartans looking for their first big stop of the day. On 3rd down and 1. They went to Justin Duncan. It will depend on the spot. What it looks like is it's going to be close, and it is enough for a first down. Favorable spot, Jay.
Favorable spot. Take a look. He's got to get right there to the 45-yard line. And, he got it.
He did.
That was one of those stops that Norfolk State almost had to have. We're coming close to the end of the 3rd quarter.
Sprint draw. They've had a lot of success on this play early on this season. Jamal Giddens blew this one up.
Sprint draw that. Fooled me once, fooled me twice, but the 3rd time you can tell Giddens has a little bad attitude this time you bring it to him. Number 9, whack. Good hit.
Leads the MEAC 6.5 tackles for loss. And that's going to bring this 3rd quarter to a close. Now, Norfolk State trying to battle back into this game. They got a touchdown from Brendan Riddick to cut it to 2 scores and had the momentum, but it was short-lived. Rodney Tyson, the redshirt freshman, takes it 100 yards, and Howard's a quarter away from a big upset. ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And in part by the 2012 Fiat 500. Visit FiatUSA.com. Back here in Norfolk, Virginia, part of the Hampton Roads metro area, Chesapeake Bay. Beautiful downtown right there on the waterfront.
Right there on the water. What a beautiful day to play college football. Picture perfect weather. #1 ranked team in black college football. Team coming from down the road trying to pull off an upset. Good atmosphere, good bands, good performance. It's college football season, my favorite time of year.
2nd down and 12 to begin this 4th. Norfolk State going to need a stop in a hurry. Play action, pressure, got rid of it just in time for Darren Christie, who runs his way for a first down into Norfolk State territory. Mike Privet made the stop after a gain of 16, and Greg McGee got rid of that ball just in time.
Good job. You've got a left-handed quarterback. Get him running to his left so he can turn around and get rid of the ball quickly. And this is a good job by Christie of just catching the ball, turning, planting those shoulders, and just picking up as many yards as you can. That's what you want from your fullback. Don't try to be fancy and dance. Lower the boom on somebody.
And Norfolk State, 5 takeaways through 2 games. They're going to need a couple here in this 4th to have a shot.
And they're going to have to do something they don't like doing, which is start blitzing those linebackers and force Howard to make some adjustments.
Tripped up by Deion King. Freshman that has really progressed in a hurry. They said they knew that he'd be good, but he's exceeded expectations and is like a junior with a mental side of the game.
See Howard taking their time, not breaking the huddle until they're 10 seconds on the play clock.
Tight end Justin Boyd leading for Terrence LaFall. Keeps those feet turning across the 35. More than 100 yards here in his 2012 debut.
Fall's been impressive. 4.3 yard average, and I think he's really been the catalyst. The ability to run the football hard in between the tackles. And one thing for Howard today, rarely have they faced 3rd and long. It's always been 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 because of the offensive line and the running by LaFall.
Here's Freeman. And tackled right away by Cameron Jude and Lyndon Trail. A couple of FBS transfers. Jude out of Michigan State, Trail out of Florida. And it's third down and short.
You see all the green bodies there playing good assignment football. Gap control, great job.
It's that third, fourth down coming up. 4th and 3. Punt team out of the field. John Flack shanks this one. And it'll be down at the 15. Not really sure why they did down it. Justin Boyd down in it there. Let's take a look at our alumni spotlight. It's an easy one this week, Tay Walker. Look at him, Skywalker. Undefeated in 1993 with Gary Harrell as his favorite wide receiver and roommate, and born one day apart.
You've been doing your homework, haven't you?
A little bit.
Yep, 1993, undefeated season. I always tell everybody, if you throw more touchdowns and interceptions, they tend to remember you. And if you go undefeated, that makes you legendary.
There is Flea Harrell. You were telling me a story about when you were getting recruited. You were in an elevator, and somebody said, if there was just somebody to throw Flea the ball, because Flea can play, and you said to yourself, that could be me.
That could be me. I think the rest is history.
Flores across his body. Great defense from Josh Jordan against Xavier Boyce. 2nd and 10.
Flores again escaping, getting outside the pocket. The fans here wanted to see pass interference. He's got that right arm around him. That should have been called.
So 2nd down and 10. Howard drops 7 into coverage, so they check it down to Brendan Riddick. Past the 30 to the 34. That's 19 yards and a first down.
And this has been there. They're just really not acknowledging him. You see the linebackers are turning their back to the running back in the backfield. Keep going to him time and time again. I would just dump it off. And then when they do adjust, hit him with Joseph Hawkins going down the seam.
Which they did on their first touchdown drive. Clock not on the side of the Spartans. Pressure comes on first down. Here they go down the seam for Derek Demps, who's got it in stride inside the 20. 46-yard completion. DeCarlos Knight finally made the tackle.
What poise by Flores. Heavy rush coming from Howard, but look at the tuck. Look, they're blitzing the linebackers. He stands in there. He knows he's got to protect it. And what a nice touch pass over the top to Demps, hitting him in stride.
Spartans still breathing. First down from the 19. Flores steps into the throw out of the reach of Reggie Garrett. 2nd and 10.
Nico Flores, a junior out of Miami. This is his first year becoming a starting quarterback, and you can tell he's starting to get more comfortable in that role. Seemed a little bit rattled a little bit in the first quarter, didn't have it going. Now, since halftime, he's come out, he's been a different player.
Played a little bit last year as a Wildcat quarterback. Behind Chris Wally, was the MEAC Offensive Player of the Year. 7 drop into coverage. Throws a dart, and it's incomplete. It was behind Xavier Boyce, who still almost hauled it in. 3rd down and 10.
That's one there. Boyce did a good job of readjusting his body, coming back and almost making the great grab. Look at him stop mid-stride. He's got a hand on it, but not able to secure the football.
Bending the route in front of Julian David. And with back-to-back incompletions, 3rd and 10. They're 1 for 10 on 3rd down today.
They've got Boyce one-on-one against Julian David, the secondary.
They loft it for Demps. Touchdown, Norfolk State. He dropped one in the previous possession. Here he atones, and the Spartans are within 2 scores.
Good job putting good touch on this pass and allowing Demps to run underneath the football and readjust. Flores, he's feeling it now. This is the Norfolk State team that they've come to expect down here in the Tidewater area. Somebody must have stolen their uniforms and played for them in the first half. Now the Spartans are playing Spartan football.
Number 1 team in HBCU battling back. They're within 10, and Derek Demps set up his own touchdown with a 47-yarder. Nico Flores had not thrown a touchdown in his career here at Norfolk State before this second half. He's got 3 of them since the break. 269 yards through the air to lead the Spartans back into this game. Down 10, 11 plus left to go in Norfolk. Everett Goldberg to kick it away. Rodney Tyson, William Parker waiting deep. And no chance to bring this one back, which is a good thing considering what Tyson did with one previous in this half. So 11:25 to go, Jay, and this Howard offense is going to come out of the field and try to do what they've done all day. That's run the football. Question is, can Norfolk State come up with a stop?
You've got to think right now you're going to get Norfolk State's best effort on the defensive side of the football. This is going to be, if they're going to have any chance of winning this football game, it's got to stop right now. They need a defensive stop. And if you're Howard, you've got to be thinking, we've got to try and pound the football. They've had success running the football all day. Can they continue?
Terrence LaFall, who's over 100 yards today. Submarines across the 30. Marcel Koch with a stop. Marcus Cooperwood there as well. 5 yards on first down. Not good enough if you're Norfolk State.
No, poor job for them. And it's been impressive to see Howard University have the ability to force their will on the Norfolk State defense when everybody in the stadium knows that Howard's going to run the football. They've still been able to continue to run the football effectively in between the tackles.
Spread it out on 2nd and 4. LaFall again, this time bottled up. Terrence Pugh, the 5th-year senior outside linebacker with a stop, and it's 3rd down.
They put 8 men by the line of scrimmage, one-on-one on the outside. This time here, great job of running that ball down. Terrence Pugh. He's a linebacker. They had him right on the line of scrimmage, able to chase down the fall from the backside.
Howard right at 50% on 3rd down today. All 11 men within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. And a quarterback lead play. McGee bounces to the outside and cuts up for a 1st down. Mike Privet made the stop with a preseason offensive player of the year in the MEAC with a big 1st down run.
And when teams are blitzing, playing man-to-man coverage, who's got the quarterback? So often, nobody. Good job by LaFall acting as a lead blocker. And McGee, knowing where the 1st down yardage was, able to pick up 1st down.
Now, McGee was not even supposed to play today. Randy Liggins Jr. started, but when Liggins Jr. had his helmet come off during the 1st quarter, had to come out of play. McGee, the only other quarterback available. So came in and has been in since. Another run play on 1st down. Short gain for LaFall. And that clock continues to run inside of 9.5 as Keenan Lambert makes the tackle.
If you're Howard right now, you've got to be thinking, you're looking at that clock. Watch the seconds go by. Slowing it down. Good job of picking up the 1st down. On the prior 3rd down, now you just want to slowly but surely take your time getting to the line of scrimmage.
Second and 8, play action. First throw of the drive, wobbling out of bounds, and it's 3rd down. He got planted by Lyndon Trail.
They got to him in a hurry. They tried to go with the play action and look at all the green jerseys around. Good hit put on him by Trail. More importantly for Norfolk State, that clock stopped ticking. They've got another opportunity if you're the defense, to make a play, 3rd and 8.
Sprint draw.
That would be a good call. I wouldn't be surprised if they've done it, if they would do it. But I'm thinking you've got a quarterback that's supposed to be the best in the conference. Let him throw it.
Gary Harrell's going to take a timeout.
Timeout. Howard.
The 3rd down and 8 coming up here. Week 3 of the college football season. Jay, take us through the MEAC storylines early on.
I think everybody wants to know, how good can Bethune-Cookman be? They beat some very good football teams, being down by double digits in both contests. They've got the potential to be a great one in the postseason. Will the MEAC conference get 2 teams in? The last time they did it was in 2010. Norfolk State's a good football team. Florida A&M's a good football team. South Carolina State's a really good football team. And we talked about Bethune-Cookman. And then the offensive and defensive players of the week, we see Brendan Riddick. He's a special talent out of Norfolk. And Deion Hanks, defensive back from Bethune-Cookman. Just scary to think that Bethune-Cookman down by 17 points to Alabama State in the opener, come back and just stifle them. They fall down by 20. Was it 20 points they were down?
14 to nothing in South Carolina State.
On the road and stifle them. And then played University of Miami very competitively in the first half of the game today. But I think we may have to add it. If Howard can get the win, the question becomes, how good can they be? Are the Bison ready to make a run?
Gary Harrell said that they consider this a championship game for their team this early in the season. Lead play, they converted the 3rd down previously on that same play, but they needed more this time and didn't get it. Keenan Lambert with a stop on a gain of 5, and it's 4th and 2.
That's a call that I would have gone with the pass, throwing the football. They decided to run it with McGee coming up just 2 yards short. At this point in the game, I understand you want to keep the clock running, but with 8+ minutes, I don't think it becomes a clock. I think you've got to play aggressive and go after that 1st down, throwing the football.
And he's going to take off with it, and he's not going to get it.
Wow.
John Fleck is short of the 1st down.
I don't get it.
And look who it is, Brendan Riddick, the starting tailback with a special teams tackle.
And you wonder, is this a fake all the way? Or did the punter just see something and decide to call his own number? The situation doesn't dictate that you do this. I think that was by design.
I'll tell you what, it looked open to begin with, but then Riddick popped out of the middle of nowhere. And here he comes at running back.
That's a big mistake. I mean, that's a big mistake. You can't do it in that situation. You got the ball in the middle of the field. You got to think battle of field position. To give this team offense, which has been hot and been scoring its last possessions, great field position, it's just something you can't afford to take that chance.
Flores steps into the pocket and throws. It's caught off for the deflection. Joseph Hawkins with his 2nd catch of the day. 13-yard pickup. 1st down to the 30.
Momentum is on the side of Norfolk State. They're catching all the breaks that they weren't getting in the first half. Ball is tipped by Williams in great concentration to make the catch.
Flores stepping up and taking off to the 25 and a gain of 6. They came from behind last week to beat Liberty, down 17-7 at halftime. They were down 20-0 at halftime today, and have come storming back behind Nico Flores in his 3 touchdown passes. 2nd down and 4. They drop 8 into coverage, but the linebackers bail, and Brendan Riddick's got a 1st down reception. Keith Pugh made the tackle at the 15.
Going to Riddick again. They've had success just taking the check down, picking up the 1st down, and the momentum of Norfolk State seems to be too much for Howard University to overcome. I can't tell which football team is winning by 10 points.
Some confusion right now getting the formation set up. Empty set with a tight end to the right of the formation. Everybody up against the line of scrimmage for Howard. Flores off his back foot. Boyce able to hang on. Curtis Simmons holds on to him. It's a gain of just 1.
What a gutsy play call there by Howard. They're bringing the blitz one-on-one everywhere. If they don't make this tackle, that would have been a touchdown. Good job coming up by Curtis Simmons.
Second down and 9. Flores will bail out. Wide open man, Joseph Hawkins for the touchdown.
Behold, the green and gold. Coach Adrian said he thought Joseph Hawkins was the best tight end in the MEAC conference. Gets outflanked. Nobody out there. Keith Pugh was supposed to be responsible for him man-to-man.
Everett Goldberg with a big extra point. They've had issues today on this. It's a 3-point game. Norfolk State has come storming back. Nico Flores going into this half did not have a touchdown pass in his career. He's got 4 in this half, and it's a 3-point game. This is a 23-0 game at one point. Norfolk State has scored 27 of the last 34, and it's 30-27 outside of 6 minutes left to go. Along with former Howard quarterback Jay Walker, Joe Davis on hand, and Everett Goldberg will kick it away. Tyson brought one back 100 yards in the third quarter. Stutter steps and bounces. A good job there to hem him in by Isaac White. There's a flag down to the far side of the field. BCS Countdown is on ESPNU Monday. Our analysts break down the key victories and defeats from Week 3, discuss their impact on the standings, plus look ahead to Week 4. BCS Countdown presented by Tostitos, Monday at 6 on ESPNU.
On the return, we had a personal foul, face mask on the kicking team. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
We've talked about it a couple times today. These penalties are coming at the worst time for Norfolk State.
The worst time. You've got a team that's trying to hold on for dear life, and now you give them a 15-yard penalty, so that's the first down that they needed for the battle of field position. So if they do punt the ball, your offense is not going to have great field position even if you get a 3-and-out stop.
10th penalty of the day on Norfolk State. Puts the ball at the 39 to begin this drive, and it's Terrence LaFall over the left side of the line for a short gain. George Riddick made the stop. Howard will take as much time as they can.
And this is the chess match right here. You've got the wily veteran and D coordinator, head coach Pete Adrian versus the young, youthful offensive coordinator and Ted White from Howard. Howard's had their number thus far in the game, but since the second half, Norfolk State defense has figured out the wrinkles that Howard was throwing at them. What is Howard going to do to come up with next?
2nd and 8. Play clock down to 3. And Howard going to burn its second timeout. Gary Flea Harrell. There's so many good nicknames across HBCU. Jay, give me 5 really good ones.
Put you on the hot seat. So you got Flea.
Oh, you really going to do this?
So who is he? So that's Gary.
Gary Harrell. I'm 1 for 1.
All right. Number 4. Let's see. Satellite.
Willie Totten.
Mississippi Valley. You're good. I knew you'd get that one. I didn't think you'd get that action. Number 3. The Lord's Prayer.
I don't know this one.
I love this nickname. Eldridge Dickey played at Tennessee State. Called him Lord's Prayer. Number 2. Too Tall.
I don't know
You
this
know
one
who Too
either.
Tall is. You probably didn't know he went to HBCU.
Ed Jones.
Also before your day, isn't it? Too
A little
Tall
before
Jones
my
McCall.
time.
And the #1 HBCU nickname vault. Come on.
Walter Payton.
Sweetness. Walter Payton. There you go. There.
What about Skywalker? You got to put yourself in there.
Well, Sky didn't make it. Air McNair did not make it. But I just think the top 5, you got to go that. Have a great nickname, you got to be able to say in one word. If you say Sweetness, you know it's Walter Payton. If you say Flea, you know it's Harold. Sky, yeah, you can be a couple other guys.
Well, Flea's team has it 2nd and 8 at the 31. Play action for McGee. The lefty sets his feet and throws it incomplete. Looking for Jonathan Booker, defended by Marcus Center. 3rd down and 8.
So what you got to be thinking now the clock's no longer involved in this football game. So if you throw the ball on 2nd down, you've got to be willing to throw the ball on 3rd down. So at this point, you're playing to win the game. It's like you're holding on to a 3-point lead. You're in a football game now. No more trying to deflate the ball. You got to call your best plays.
Hard count from McGee. Norfolk State.
They better hurry up and get this ball snapped. Play clock's down to 3.
McGee throwing for Brandon Flanagan and incomplete. Norfolk State's defense is forced to punt with 5 minutes left in this game.
He was open. Great job by the offensive line. Look at all the time McGee has to go through his progression. He sees him. He just throws a bad pass. Flanagan's been able to get open, but some of that rust from not playing in the first 2 games of the year are showing up here late for Howard University quarterback Greg McGee. Now they're relying upon the defense.
That's special teams player of the week, Keith Johnson, waiting back. They faked it last time, and it was a huge momentum swing when Norfolk State stopped them. Here the Spartans set up the return. That one's going to take a good bounce for Fleck. Inside the 20. Here is that fake punt. Huge play in this game.
The momentum swing. We don't know if it was called or by design. It seemed like it was designed. It looked like it was there for a while, but great play by Brendan Riddick. So once that happened, Norfolk State seized the opportunity, made them pay for it. Joseph Hawkins in the end zone to make this a 3-point football game. And they're feeling good about their chances here in Norfolk, Virginia.
And Nico Flores has brought him back. 22 of 36 for 308 yards and the first 4 touchdowns of his career. Over the middle for Xavier Boyce. Tries to get away but can't. Anthony Whitlow locked him and brought him down.
And I like the decision by Flores. You realize you need 3 points, but where have they had the success? Throwing the ball underneath. It's been there. You've got plenty of time. That was just a great tackle there by Whitlow.
It's been a tale of 2 halves. Norfolk State waking up in this second half, now within 3. Trips to the wide side of the field. Flores looking underneath. He'll go for Demps, who had to reach behind him to catch it. Stays on his feet for a first down. 4th catch of the afternoon for Derek Demps. He goes 14 yards to the 34 for a first down.
You know, and Howard is out of their element right now. You want to keep everything in front of you and just wrap up and tackle. Good job there. Inspiring run by Derek Demps. Bouncing off the contact and picking up more yardage.
Demps averaging about 27 yards a reception. Flores steps up underneath again, incomplete with a flag down. Is it yet another flag on Norfolk State when they can least afford it?
Holding, 79, offense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Holding on Jarius Spain, the right tackle. I think he held number 96, the freshman, Damon Gresham Chisholm, for Howard. Now when you get that penalty on first down and it's a hold, now you got to be a little bit more aggressive with your play call selection. You can't necessarily rely on the short passing underneath.
Spartans, the second most penalized team in the country. On 1st and 20. And go underneath again if he wants to, and does, but low for a wide open Reggie Garrett. And it'll be 2nd down from the 29. About 16 yards. They trailed at halftime last week, came from behind on the road to beat Liberty. They trailed 23-0 in the 3rd quarter today. They've come storming back. Flores with pressure in his face. Caught and then fumbled by Hawkins. And Howard's got it at the 40. Still no ruling from the officials.
That's a fumble. He caught it, was running with it. Now was a helmet directly on the football.
It's to Brian Resby with a fumble recovery. And you got to figure they're going to take a look at this. It was a tremendous catch by Joseph Hawkins off of his shoelaces.
We have a completion and a fumble. The play is under further review.
Was there a knee down or an elbow down before that ball popped out?
But before we even see a replay, watching it, it seemed like he caught the ball and was running with it. Let's take a look if there's something else different here. Good job by Hawkins of getting open. He catches it. He was running with it. You got to ask yourself, I mean, if he doesn't get hit, he's catching this football and he's going to the ground. But just a great hit by Keith Pugh directly on the football through the shoulder. Good job of running through it. He's got it. It's tucked away. He gets him.
Keith Pugh, the preseason MEAC Defensive Player of the Year. Consensus All-American. Pretty clearly jars that one loose.
Yep, and it was so close to his knee almost going down, but big players seem to show up when their teams need them under the spotlight and the lights. That might have been the biggest hit of Keith Pugh's career at Howard University if this fumble stands.
That was going to put him close to a 1st down.
That's a tough one there. I mean, with Hawkins, I think every tight end in the country is going to fumble that ball when you get turned at that angle. When Pugh comes up at you and you don't see him and he's got leverage. He did everything he needed him to do. He made the catch, secured the football. Just a bang-bang play by Keith Pugh.
Hawkins is 2nd team All-MEAC tight end. Junior out of Chicago with a great catch, but has the ball jarred loose by Keith Pugh.
And Hawkins has had a phenomenal football game. Caught the touchdown. I mean, spectacular catches. He's a really good football player. I see why Coach Adrian's so excited about him. As we mentioned earlier, the MEAC Conference, the only conference in FCS football to use the instant replay during the regular season. Once you get to the playoffs, all the games have instant replay. And right now, the only hope that Norfolk State has it winning this football game would be if the instant replay officials saw something that the field officials did not see. It is taking them a long time to talk. Normally, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
That means they're going to overturn something and maybe look for possession. Where did the fumble occur to spot it?
I was with you, though. There was nothing that I saw that should overturn that.
Yeah. Got the catch, securing the football, running. And he took 2 steps with that football.
They talk about a football move, and that's a football move.
That's the catch, he's running. Wasn't bobbling the ball. I mean, he had it clearly. You almost have to wonder, what is it that they're talking about now? I mean, maybe right now they're just buying some time. They want to keep looking at it, but don't overlook at this. I mean, this was the play. We have not seen one angle that's shown that it's even close. think right there, he's got it secured. I mean, I don't see the argument you have there. I mean, knee is up.
Is that knee down?
Is the knee down? I don't think so. That knee is still moving. I don't think it's down. I mean, that knee went sideways. I mean, if the knee was down, the whistle should have blown. There was no whistle blown.
Well, if it is overturned, it'd be the fourth, or if it does stand, it'd be the fourth fumble of the day. Second one that they've lost.
I mean, this angle there, I mean, look, when that knee's down, that ball's out. If they're looking at it, he's bringing the right knee. It didn't hit the ground. I think this has to be a fumble. I mean, that was just a bang-bang play.
The runner left knee was down prior to the ball coming out. It would be Norfolk State ball at the 40, third down.
They've got life, but I don't see it. What do you think, Joe? You be the neutral party on this one.
I can see where the call be made, but the thing is, we keep talking about you need undisputable evidence, and we can sit up here and dispute it.
Was the knee down? Was the knee not down? You can't tell. There was not an angle we saw. Nevertheless, it's going to be for an interesting finish.
Third down and 4 still. It was a pickup of 11 yards, but they've still got work to do. 3 down linemen for Howard. Flores underneath for Reggie Garrett. First down to the 47. Anthony Whitlow with a stop. Clock stops for the chains to move. 2:42 remaining.
Good job by Flores sticking with the game plan. The underneath crossing routes have been there all evening. Just continue to pick away.
Eight-man in coverage. He pumped Garrett and now will take off. Makes a move and runs to the 45 where Keith Pugh is waiting for him. 8 or 9 yards, second down and short, inside at 2.5. What a night it's been for Nico Flores.
What a second half.
Almost 300 of those yards have come since the break. All 4 touchdowns.
They protected him. The offensive line's done a good job.
Gave him 8, second and 2. Again, they drop 8 into coverage and still get to him. Damon Gresham-Chisholm with his first sack.
Oh, that's what you cannot do. Flores has played so well. You've got to know you've got to get rid of the football. He goes there. He senses it. Would step up in that pocket. What a big sack by the freshman, Gresham-Chisholm.
And they do it with a 3-man pass rush. So the timeout taken, 2:01 left to go, third down and at about 10. What are you looking for play call wise? You going to go underneath again?
I would go with a high-low combination. I think so. You know, you're still not worried about the clock. At this point, you got to think, if I get 7 yards, I'm going for it on 4th down anyway. So you got to keep somebody underneath where they've had the success. Maybe try and sneak somebody down the seam behind the linebackers in case Howard is thinking the same thing. But I do a little high-low action. I'd send Hawkins 15 yards and down and have the running back come underneath out of the backfield.
Hawkins attached to the formation on the left. Third down and 10. Again, 3-man pressure. And that ball is dropped. Anthony Whitlow broke it up as they went for Joseph Hawkins. And it's 4th down, last chance for the Spartans.
That Boyce double covered up top, so you got to be thinking you got to come down this way with the football.
Howard needs one more stop. Flores pumps, now rolls, throwing. It's caught. Barrick Demps for a first down. 13-yard gain on 4th down.
Got outside of the pocket. Mobile quarterbacks extending the plays with his legs. Great job and poise by Nico Flores.
They need just a field goal to tie this game. They've got a guy with a strong leg in Everett Goldberg, whose career long is 51. They need to get to the 34 for that range. Dangerous throws hauled in. Joseph Hawkins down to the 22. 18-yard pickup for the junior tight end.
Now they're in field goal range. They're playing for the victory right now.
And a timeout taken. An official's timeout. They're ready to play. From the 23, Flores back to throw. He'll take off. Then tripped up by DeCarlos Knight. And Keith Pugh chasing him as well. Clock winds inside of a minute.
See what Flores realizes right now is with a 3-man rush, he's got a little bit longer time to go through his progressions. Deciding to run the football.
They're in Goldberg's range. Norfolk State trailed this game 23-0. On 2nd and 8, a short drop. All day to throw. He's ripped down. Damon Gresham Chisholm, who's got a sack on this drive, stopped him. A gain of a yard, 3rd down at the 20.
You mentioned all day to throw the football. 3-man rush not able to get there. Once he gets past the line of scrimmage, hard tackle by Gresham Chisholm.
Still got a timeout left, and that clock winding down to 10. They're going to settle for what probably is going to have to be a field goal. They had 15 or 20 seconds run off of the clock there, Jay.
Yeah.
Norfolk State, this is their 3rd and final timeout.
And you got to kick the field goal here. I mean, too many things can go wrong. I know you've got 9 seconds there, but the only thing you can possibly try and do is throw a ball to the outside. If you're Howard, you got to be thinking play some type of cover 2 on the outside. I'd kick the field goal here. I mean, you can't do it. What if he's tackled inbounds, game's over. Any type of tackle inbounds within the football game.
The special teams has been an issue for this team. Had a blocked punt earlier. They had a field goal blocked. And so far this season, Goldberg has good range. Has had 2 field goals and 2 extra points blocked.
Yeah, with Goldberg, length is not the issue. It's been the protection up front.
This one from 37 out of the hold of the punter, Dylan Shaddix. Goldberg hooks it through. The senior out of Mesa Ridge, Colorado, ties the game with a 37-yard field goal. 5 seconds remaining on the clock. What a comeback by the Spartans.
They seized momentum and they kept going. I think if you're Howard, you're very fortunate you got an opportunity to go in overtime, because that very easily with the momentum they had could have possibly seen them winning the game. And fortunate they didn't call that running into the kicker. By the time that kick went through the uprights, it hooked left at the end, but it was well deep.
Goldberg, a guy that handled the longer field goals last year. All 6 that he made last year were from 47 yards or longer, and early this season he struggled with the shorter field goals. Not there, though, and this game is tied. They've done it once again, Jay.
And you've got to think right now they're going to come out and squib kick it. Don't kick the ball to a guy that's run a kickoff return 100 yards on you already.
That's Rodney Tyson at a 100-yard touchdown return in the third quarter. Howard led this game 23-0. Now on the verge of OT. There is the squib. Taken to the 25 by Devin Rollins. So do you go for one shot down the field, or do you not even risk it?
No, you've lost all momentum in this game contest right now. You just want to take a knee and get ready for the overtime and fire up the troops. I mean, they were so close. They thought they had the game won with the fumble. Then they come up with the sack. You got to regroup.
That's exactly what Gary Harrell will do. Norfolk State.
Gutsy performance. I mean, they played as bad as you can play in the first half. I didn't even recognize what team it was, but the way that they responded in the second half has been phenomenal.
They scored 30 of the final 37 points of regulation, tying the game with a 37-yard field goal from Everett Goldberg with 5 seconds. And we're headed to overtime here in Norfolk.
And normally when a team makes up that much ground, there would have been some turnovers. Howard did not even turn over the football. This has just been Norfolk State figuring out what they had to do offensively, the defense making a stop.
Coin toss coming shortly. Let's review the overtime rules. Obviously, you want to take defense if you win the toss. Both teams will get one possession from the 25, and you can think of it like a baseball inning. Both teams will get a chance, and if you hit that third overtime, got to go for 2.
And overtime is where legends are made. Forget about the previous 60 minutes you just played. The opportunity to step up.
Norfolk State trailed 17-7 last week at halftime, came back to beat Liberty. They trailed this game 23-0 in the third with no signs of life.
They were flat. Then, you know what I think happened? They found a quarterback. Nico Flores grew up right in front of us here this evening, showed poise, patience, discipline. And I think the aggressive play calling defensively for Howard kind of caught him. When you got a 23-point lead, you just keep everything in front. You don't get beat for big plays downfield.
If you're Howard, how do you respond here mentally?
It's been tough. They haven't been able to do it. And I think you got to kind of rely on a big play and forget about it and go back to your original game plan that you did. Run the football hard.
Okay, guys, we're going to go into an overtime session, okay? Each session you get one timeout, okay? You must use that timeout in that session. Okay, we're going to have a choice of offense. You'll have a choice of offense or defense, or choosing the end of the field, okay? If you win the toss, you understand? All right? If we go into a third overtime, you must go for a 2-point on the try, okay? All right? How would you the visiting team? I want you to call. You gonna call tails? Okay, he called tails, okay? It is a head, okay? You want to go on defense first, right? What end of the field you want to start this off on? Okay, we're gonna go down this way. All right, turn your back here. All right, get your teams, guys, and let's play.
So Howard will begin the overtime session with the ball at the 25. Stick around. Overtime coming up.
Looks like there's a
handling. Call 1-800-658.
We're headed to overtime. Norfolk State has scored 30 of the last 37. This was an overturn call, originally ruled a fumble. They then said that his knee was down before the ball came loose. Then Nico Flores converts to Derek Demps on 4th down. And with the clock winding down, a field goal from Everett Goldberg from 37 yards knocks it at 30. Moving us into the overtime session.
It's been a tale of 2 halves. If you look at the overall game, how we got to overtime. Howard University dominated the first half. but Norfolk State came roaring back in the second half. Quarterback Nico Flores on fire.
Low snap picked up by McGee, throws down the seam for Brandon Flanagan, and it's first down and goal. The 5'7" junior out of Corona, California, goes up and gets it with one-on-one coverage.
Great throw there from Greg McGee. Howard, how do you take the crowd out of it? Your offense was running out of steam. Come out with the big play to start overtime.
They bring in the bigger backfield. And Justin Duncan stood up. Interior of this Norfolk State defense. Getting some help from Keenan Lambert, the strong safety. Second and goal. They're going to sneak it. And McGee close to the goal line. No signal yet. He's in. Touchdown, Howard. So how about that answer with the momentum 100% on the side of Norfolk State? They respond.
Good surge there. Side with the play call. Don't have
Number
your quarterback.
7, Hammer came off. He must go out for one play.
And you hear the Greg McGee's helmet came off, full circle kind of. They don't have another quarterback available. Luckily for them, they don't need one for this play.
And that's what I think with the helmet rule. They're going to have to make some adjustments to that rule. And I think it's too penalizing.
Ruling on the play is a touchdown. The play is under further review.
Looked pretty clear.
Sometimes they see things differently. And a good surge. Seems as if he lands in the end zone 3 yards in the end zone. And he's on top of his lineman. But we've seen stranger things. Sometimes we see one thing with a certain set of eyes and they see it with something else. And that's a good surge there by Howard.
You had Hawkins, Bush Johnson, and Matthews. 2 seniors and a junior on the center of that line.
So the only time you would see something like this get overturned would be if you saw the quarterback get stood up. He didn't get stood up. He was pretty low.
The ruling stands as called. Touchdown.
Now in a game where special teams have been so huge. Extra point coming from Parker Munoz out of the hold of the punter, John Fleck. So Norfolk State needs 7. Boy, what a tremendous response by the Bison.
Coming out with all momentum, out, holding off for dear life, and way to respond. Greg McGee with a big-time throw to Flanagan to get him inside the 5-yard line. And then calling his own number on the quarterback sneak. But now the question is, what about the riddle that's been this Norfolk State offense?
They've been led by Nico Flores, redshirt junior out of Miami, who's thrown for more than 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in the second half alone. They need a touchdown and an extra point. Hawkins was wide open but incomplete. Pressure from Alfonso Beal, and it's 2nd and 10.
Obviously, he's got an advantage. One of the benefits of winning the coin toss is when you go second, you know that you've got to score. So you've got 4 downs.
They're going to go to the Wildcat here. Brendan Riddick, who is a converted quarterback, will take the snap against a crowded box. Fakes the sweep to Johnson. And tiptoes his way inside. Ibrahim Akabi there with the Brian Resby. 3rd down.
You got a quarterback that's been on fire. Not a big fan of taking the ball out of his hands with the game on the line.
Obviously 4-down territory. Bottom half of this first overtime. Third and 8. 4-man rush. Off his back foot for a 1st down. Reggie Garrett with a reception. The 5th-year senior comes up big to move the chains.
Look at the patience by Flores. It's buying time. Back up, back up. Tough pass right there. Thrown off your back leg. Guy coming across, accurate throw.
He's spotted at the 10. 1st down and goal. Flores sprints out. Looking across his body. Now will loft it out of the back of the end zone. Smart decision to avoid the sack with K-Bay and Whitlow bearing down on him.
He realized he was in trouble. Looked as if he was going to take the sack. And then he thought about it and said, I can't take a chance. Get rid of the football. Howard able to get some pressure on him. They move the pocket. So right here, you got to get rid of it. What if he makes that tackle?
Second and goal. They need a touchdown and an extra point to get this to a second overtime. Flores off his back foot again. And they'll say that it was uncatchable. DeCarlos Knight wrapped up Derek Demps. 3rd down and goal.
Yeah, it was clearly pass interference, but we talked about it earlier. When you throw the ball out the back of the end zone, see, they're colliding. That ball lands 5 yards outside the back of the end zone. Right away, he makes a judgment. You see him look at it and say it's an uncatchable pass. If you're going to make the call, be precise and right on it.
So 3rd down and goal. Xavier Boyce with 1-on-1 to the top of your screen against Josh Jordan. Got a 5-inch advantage on Jordan. They look that way, throwing the fade. Boyce has PI called. And it's going to be 1st down and goal. Why not take advantage of that size?
You called it when they said 1-on-1 with Boyce. At this stage in the game, why do you do that? Good job by Flores of just throwing it up to him, giving them a chance so they can make the call.
Pass interference, 23, defense. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic, 1st down.